Oh, it's gonna be a long one. Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, we
Get
do it
ready.
live.
Your favorite, right?
We do it live. Oh, favorite. It's the worst one in the entire. I'm playing, and if anybody heard, they're gonna be pissed. Um,
They already
nah.
cut out. It's okay. They left.
Uh,
They already turned off. I went
Dude,
to a
please,
different
you gotta
video.
put the clickbait for this one as is like Aliens, the worst one in the series, bro. We'll get a
That would
million
get.
views.
Yo, imagine.
It'll be a
Worst one
million
is.
views immediately, and then the first 2 minutes they just hear this and they say, "Oh fuck, you got me." Yep, we got you, asshole. Now they'll probably leave after that, but hey, you already clicked it. Engagement is good.
Engagement is good.
um,
Uh,
yeah, no, dude, this is probably, whew, man. I would say in the running for top 5 movies of all time. Like no shit. It had a couple things that are bad that I was like, really? But a couple of them were just in the beginning, a little
oh,
bit
hold
like,
up. Before we start, did you watch the theatrical version or the Super Edition? Just asking. I
whatever
didn't
the.
watch Super Edition till this rewatch, but yeah,
Tell me
no.
what the differences are, and I'll let you know if I saw them.
It's just got extra scenes with the little girl.
Which one's extra?
The one where she's with her family.
Oh, never seen it
Before
then.
the okay, yeah, yeah, we get to see her family,
Oh,
and
okay. That's unfortunate. If I would have known, I would have just got that one.
I didn't know it was a Super Edition until I went to Amazon and I said, oh, 'cause I've never seen it. So
Right. That sucks. I ended up watching the regular. I would have. That would have been better. See, and it only gets better. What would be in the running for top 5 movies of all time, with no particular order, but not number one, maybe three, five, somewhere in there. But fuck, and I missed out on some of it. I don't think it needed it though. Whatever it was may have enhanced it, but it wasn't. I don't think it would have been enough to make it any better than it
it made the
was.
movie it made the movie like 2.5 hours long. So
Woo!
uh,
So it added a lot.
yeah, it was just mostly more scenes with her or little bits added with her. Or, like she had more dialogue. The little girl.
Maybe it's better without that then.
Maybe.
Because I liked.
I thought it was fine.
What was it?
But I also was like, I didn't really need this. I understood. Whenever we ran into her, like, oh, her family died. I didn't need to see her family.
Right, and that's why I'm wondering if it was even necessary. But maybe it doesn't take away from it. But like you're saying,
No,
it's you don't need it.
right.
Because I think the subtlety is good. Like her entire character is awesome. Because when she starts seeing like, we're already diving in. Fuck. When I first she's like,
It's coming from like a time where like people there wasn't that many like sequels, right, to movies.
mm,
So like that scene with her family it shows it seems like it serves a purpose. It's the face hugger scene. Her dad gets a face hugger on his face,
oh shit,
and then that's how it starts. So,
that's traumatic as fuck.
but yeah, yeah, it serves that purpose, right? For the audience, it's like, oh look, this is what caused the infestation and what did all the things. In
Her
case you
parents are
didn't
like the
see the first,
researchers.
yeah, her parents were researchers that were on that colony. There was
Boo.
multiple, yeah, there was multiple people in that colony. But I imagine if you're going on that colony, you're all researchers and
Right.
researchers' families,
Now that makes
right?
sense. Because that's what they were doing there anyway.
Right.
Um, so I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad I didn't see that version. Then I might have actually not been as happy because that's some cliche ass Resident Evil shit. Your family's
Well,
the researcher.
I don't think they completely say that they're researchers. They're just like, they work here on the colony, and they were gonna, yeah. The wife like saw the space station that has the eggs that they ran into in the first movie,
Hmm.
and she was like, we should report back, and he was like, nah, we should report back when we actually have something to report back. It's just a spaceship. We should investigate further. So I don't know
Right.
exactly what their jobs were.
Right.
Uh,
I guess I
and he
just don't
just
like how involved it makes it.
surveyors. Well, I mean, she's on the colony for a reason. There's like,
I guess
right,
I don't know. Maybe it's like I like the idea that her parents were just nobodies. Right.
right.
That's interesting. It's never the case with any main character ever. So like them being faceless nobodies who could have been janitors for all we know.
Yeah.
I think that makes it a little bit more interesting to me. But that's just artsy fartsy fucker. Like I'm tired of seeing certain shit. So
Oh, I see
anything
that shit
else.
all the time too. Like, oh, she was the kid. She was the janitor's son. Or she was the daughter, the janitor's daughter. So that's why she knows the ducks and all this stuff. And like, you could play it off whether she's some like
Oh, that would have been
researcher's
cool.
daughter or you can be a janitor's daughter. It doesn't matter. You can play that off that like, oh, she's special because of her lineage in any way, no
I
matter
guess
who
I
her
never thought
parents
of
were.
it in that direction. That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah,
But no, I definitely liked her character a lot though, because it was the things they didn't say, and I guess that was part of the fun is not knowing if her parents
right.
abandoned her, her parents like left, they died. Well, clearly they're gone, but you know what I mean. There's so much in
Yeah,
between. But like, what the fuck caused the trauma? Like, she was fucked up in the head, and then I thought
right,
about how long has it been, and because she didn't
right,
speak, right? I said, imagine she's been down there for like a year, and she knows that if she speaks or makes noise, the alien's
yeah,
gonna come kill her.
right,
It wasn't until like when she started speaking again that really dawned on me. I was like, no shit. She's not, dumb or completely fucked in the head. She got a little bit of obviously trauma, but she doesn't speak because she's fucking terrified if she makes a noise, they'll come find her. And how
right.
long has it been since her vocal cords were even used? Maybe they started
I don't know.
to.
She screams a lot in this movie.
That's pretty funny. I didn't think about that one. But when's the last time she saw an alien though? If she saw one,
Right,
she would have been dead.
right.
So maybe she hasn't had to scream or anything or make any noise for the past 6 months, a year.
Yeah. It is. It is. I like the part where Ripley said, "Don't you think you'd be safer with us?" Like she doesn't believe that because
Right.
like the last time she was with people, they were all being killed.
Right.
So
The adults don't mean shit. If anything, she's been better off without him because she survived alone.
exactly.
Dude, the writing, that's whew, buddy. I'm gonna try. I gotta try and focus here. I'm gonna try and think critically about how the fuck I'm gonna manage this conversation because this is the record. I think this has the record for the most notes in any movie I took.
Oh
um,
wow.
just not just because of the notes, I guess, but because it's not that much individual notes per se. It's the most. It's about tied, I think, with who else had the most. I think it was Watchmen, but a lot of the
That was
notes are
also a way
longer.
longer movie.
A lot of the notes are longer because they're full concepts, they're full ideas and thoughts. Um, so if, I don't want to get like too lost
Yeah.
because there's a whole bunch to take in.
So we'll start from the very beginning.
I was thinking, yeah, take it from the top because this movie starts
Okay.
out a little
So
dry and then
they
it gets
show the
better.
yeah, they show the spaceship that Ripley's on getting rescued, and
Right,
it's been 57 years later.
right. Speaking of that
Doesn't-
scene, to get completely artsy fartsy already, is they do something I think that's fucking awesome in this movie, and this is, sort of ties into a few points later on, but it's better to go ahead and get the idea out there now and save time on the points later. Is
Okay.
that they do this thing that a lot of modern movies don't do, or horror movies, horror styles, or suspense thrillers. The entire movie is uncomfortable. From the very
Right.
first scene, I'm like, oh shit. Is she dead? What is this? I guess I figured it out. It was her ship, but I was like, is she dead? What's going on? What the fuck is here? Who's breaking through the door? It was
Right.
uncomfortable from the very beginning, and it never lets up. But it's not over the top. A lot of new movies I've noticed they start, oh my god, it's so happy. Kids are on spring break and everything's so happy, and someone's getting married. A new family just moved into their home, and they got this brand new place with their child, and everything's so happy. They have this huge like happy-go-lucky, bright scenes, so that when the transition goes to like the most fucked up horror evil that you can, it's that much more jarring, and I think that's a little bit cheap. Now that I'm looking back on it, it doesn't have to
It
be
is definitely cheap, but
Um,
yeah.
like it can be good because that I think it's one of those things where someone realized, ooh, that gets a greater emotional response from the audience, which it does. It's like a roller coaster, right? Highs and lows.
Yeah. Right.
But that's not good all the time. It's like this was good, so then everyone has to do it in every horror movie. No, I like the fact that that shit starts creepy and uncomfortable and never ends, even when it's a good thing. Like you look at Ripley's face. This is another huge point throughout the entire movie, so it's better to get it out of the way now. Watching the movie through her eyes is fucking beautiful. That is honestly one of the things that takes the movie to the next level. It's the fact that everything through her eyes as a sequel, it just means that much more. Like that's the shit when she's talking to even the Marines, sort of in the beginning, and she's like,
Right.
fuck you, this ain't a joke, or whatever, and like gets kind of snappy with them. It's like, or not, she didn't get that snappy with them, but I think she was talking to him and they were being all laughy-go-lucky and shit.
Right.
You just look at her eyes and I'm like still uncomfortable. I'm like, nah, she knows something that these fuckers don't know yet. But the scene was happy enough. Like that was sort of the
Right.
higher moments, and I was like, ooh, the balance was just really well done.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see, what was that? Because that was the ship.
Yeah, they found her. They get her out. She's been sleeping for 57 years. We get a nightmare that she has, and
Really good
Uh,
too. I was mad. I said fucking nightmare cliche, But then I was like, it's perfect. She probably has PTSD from that shit.
Yeah.
So it's not like a random nightmare scene or whatever that they just shove into other movies. And that's again what this movie does that other movies don't. It's purposeful. Everything seems to be cohesive. I don't like how the nightmare scene is just an easy way to have cheap thrills in a lot of horror movies.
Mm.
Like, how can we show the most fucked up thing just to make shit crazy and watch the main character get their head chopped off at the first 10 minutes? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then they do that, and then it's like, I mean, obviously this is a fucking dream, or it's a flashback, or whatever. It's not real. And then mentally, I check out sometimes. And not just horror movies. Other movies do that too.
Right.
Action movies. I bet you Marvel's done it a few times.
Hmm.
And it's like, just don't do that. And I get sometimes it's more on the nose or more appropriate, not on the nose. It's more appropriate when
Yeah.
it's like, oh, they're having a flash of the future, right? This person is telepathic and they can see the future. That's kind of cool, but I don't know. I guess it just still feels a little cheap sometimes. It's like, don't show me that unless, you know, you need to. And I don't think this necessarily needed to, but it was
A
a
lot of
good.
horror movies do that. They have the somebody can see the future or something. There's like they get visions and stuff like that. Um,
Right. And it just
so
seems a little cheap because then it's like, how do we keep the suspense when we're not having suspense, right? Or how do we
mhm.
keep the horror and the all the scary flowing throughout the whole movie? So then you have stuff like that that you can just cherry pick and throw into the dull scenes.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. You don't need to do that all the time. Like, I don't know, I don't have to be on the edge of my seat all the time. But I'm also not a horror movie guy, right? My
Hmm.
favorites are the ones that are a bit slower, a bit more suspenseful, a bit more
Yeah.
mystery, a bit more
I like
lore.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Those are the horror movies I like. So
Those are the
uh,
best ones in my opinion, because and some of them, they can be more scary or less, right? But overall, I think those are the ones that are really well written, and the ones I think they're a little bit more shallow. It's like we have to keep them scared all the time. They just spent $15 to go to the theater, and they better shit their pants every 10 minutes. It's like, no, I don't need that. If I wanted that, I could just go watch, like, what's it called, like YouTube videos of jump scares. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
it feels a little cheap. I'm here for the story and the movie and the horror and everything, but I'm here for the story more so than the horror. The horror should be an aspect of what makes the story good. But that's just in a nutshell. We probably covered most of that in the last video.
We did.
But did you see the shot with the moon? This is another thing that I swear that, it comes up
Yeah.
twice. This is this first time it comes up, and it comes up again in the installation. When they're outside. That shot of the moon looked fucking real. um, and this was like early '80s when they filmed this.
Yeah.
How the fuck, man? And that's what makes it impressive, I guess. And this is, I guess, where like, a lot of the practical effects stands come in.
Oh, this one might have came in. Yeah, the first one was not 79,
This is
and
'86
this
is when it released, so I imagine
yeah
they filmed
yeah
in '83.
no yeah the
Um,
third one comes out in 92. So
because they did some crazy shit with that shot that made it look like a real Earth and everything. I was like, whoa, it looks really cool. Probably some. I've seen a couple digital effects in the movie, but not too many.
yeah.
But there was that, and then the base. When they were approaching like the facility when they first landed and went out into the rain,
Yeah.
dude, I felt like that was a real place. Like I
Right.
genuinely felt like I could go there. It's like they built this entire set in like Wisconsin or some shit or South Dakota, and it was like a fucking
They
abandoned.
probably did. It was probably a practical set. You can actually. They probably have it still somewhere.
I mean,
Uh,
it looked big though. I mean, maybe it's just the angles they had the shots, but it almost looked
mm,
like it was a full like half mile. Like
mm,
it looked like because and they had the rain and everything, the mud. It was real mud on the ground on the boots and everything. I was like, fuck, man. It was so engaging, and I think this is where I have to give some credit, not credit for their dickhead attitude, but now I understand better where they're coming from. Is the practical effects nutters who just it's CG, I hate it. Um, it's because it,
mm.
it was more engaging. I felt like it was real, versus some of the CG places, even though they're beautiful, they're still fantasy. Um, and the first one that came to my mind, also James Cameron, which was fucking crazy, was Avatar. I love everything about that world. Just the crazy plants and trees and people and fish and just looking at it, it's just like, woo. That's one of the most engaging worlds I ever saw. But it never felt real. I never felt like I could go there and see that place in real life. Um, it always had this element of fantasy with it because it was, I guess, CGI and fantasy style. So I wonder
Mm.
if this scene, if they had this installation and it was all CG and all like that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Look at it. Look at Star Wars 3.
Yeah.
When they go to wherever Padme's from, the corporate place, big corpo planet, the Senate.
That's
Uh,
the Coruscant, but
yeah.
she's from Naboo.
Oh, sorry. I guess when I say from there, it's like I mean
Yeah,
in
that's
terms
where
of
she works.
that's where she's always at. Yeah. When he goes to meet her, when he's trying to kiss her behind the pillar,
Yeah.
none of that felt real. I didn't feel like that was a place that I could go stand, or that was a real place. And I'm pretty sure it was entirely CG. Now you can
Yeah.
also say that it was empty because it was pretty empty. It was a fucking hallway with a couple pillars. Maybe that's not a fair scene, but even the scene I think when they're sitting on the balcony at her house, I think that was CG on that balcony as well. Maybe not, but it just felt weird. There was a lot of scenes in that movie that didn't feel like I could be there. Now it's a fantasy setting, right? So there's a little I got to give back to it that like it's not going to feel as real. Like a random military base could feel real, but this is a weird sci-fi base, so I don't know. Um. Anyway, that's most of that thought. Is just this idea that I think practical effects do feel a bit more engaging, and that I think it depends on your movie. In this day and age, with access to both, it would really depend on your movie and what it calls for and what you want the audience to feel.
Right.
I think on which one you picked. It's not this weird one is better than the other. No, it's which one matters more for what you're trying to do. I think that's always why I loved fuck, what is that place? I can't remember anything, dude. Where Anakin's from? No, not yeah,
Tatooine.
Tatooine. Dude, I love that planet. Everything about it, I love it. It's one of the most engaging planets, and we talked about it in our videos for that. Why the fuck is this place so engaging all the time? Because it's real. It felt real. Like that was a real place as far as I was concerned. The mountains, the desert, the buildings, that was a real fucking place.
All the tech looks appropriate to the planet. Like it has they have the fucking humidifiers. They have the fucking the shit that pulls moisture out of the fucking ground.
Right. It's just, and the way the set was shot, the way it looks. Did you notice how it always felt like there was more?
Right.
Even when they were going in like a very small area, I felt like that city was huge. They only show Obi-Wan and them walking a very short distance when they went to that bar where Han was.
Right.
You don't see a lot, but I felt like that fucking city's huge. Compare that to the shitty one where Rey was from. It felt like it felt like it was the tiniest shitty little camp. Even the practical effects just felt like this place is not real. It's a couple tents in the middle of a desert. Like
right.
It didn't feel right. I didn't grow attached to that place like it was a real place. And number two, though, they never went back there. So it wasn't real. It didn't matter. They're never going to go back there. There's no soul in that place, right? Because it's a throwaway set.
Right.
And I don't like that. I think that's also one thing maybe the practical effects happens as well, is that you put your heart and soul into it. Also the budget. So it's like we have to make it work. We have to put a lot of effort into it and then reuse it. And that causes it by extension to feel more engaging to the viewers because you've used it a couple times and you put so much work into it. And I was like, man, there's something to that. And that's just another story about just, I think, work in general. Because I was thinking about the budgets and what that does to, I think, creative stuff. And we all know that, restrictions make art. Restrictions make art. We've heard that 1,000 times. Your favorite YouTuber has probably bitched about it because, it's just this new trend that people didn't.
I feel like it does. I definitely do feel.
Oh no, I do.
Yeah, because motherfuckers are resourceful, right? Like
Right. So I don't want to go on it too much because everyone's already talked about it because it's been this new, weirdly, profound idea in the last 4 or 5 years. Because now we're seeing what budget does. But another thing I think it does, just the restriction part to create creativity. That's not necessarily the angle I'm looking at. There's a double, angle I guess, is the idea that you don't add things that are unnecessary. And it allows you to refine what you have. Because it's not even just the creativity part. It's the fact that, like, when you look at these movies and the sets and the things that they made, everything has to matter, right? It's like, oh, shit, we have to worry about this. We have to worry about that. And when think about the length of the movie, the length probably had to be more restrictive back then. Because there was sort of a standard. You don't have these new 2.5, 3-hour movies. Not as frequently, anyway. Probably there was some at the time. But when I think about that, I'm like, that makes sense. That's why I think all their dialogue, all their scenes, all their stuff is extremely well thought out. It's like, we need to show this in this amount of time. How do we do it? So anything that oh, wouldn't it be cool if we put this in the movie? Yeah, that would be cool. Where do we put it? Ooh, I don't know. We'd have to cut this and cut that and cut this. So then just by its nature, You only ever get the best, right? How do I say it? Like if you had a basket to put apples in and you went to the orchard and you can only fit 10 apples in this basket, you're going to get the biggest, juiciest, greatest 10 apples that anyone's ever eaten. And they're going to say, dude, this whenever he gets apples, they're the greatest apples in the world. You can have another person go with a basket twice as big and come back with apples. They're going to get probably half and half. Some of them are going to be good and some of them are going to be great. But when you only have a limited thing, the quality drastically goes up because you only have room for X amount of things. So you're going to start at the top and get the best and work your way down. And I wonder if that sort of clutter is what makes newer movies bad. Because they have the budget to add these extra scenes. They have the budget to add this. They have the time to make their movie 2 hours long. They have all these less restrictions, so they add this stuff that's good, but not great. Right. So that was a weird thought that I had that, yeah, we're getting a lot of mediocre and stuff or average stuff. Right. And of course we've already been through all the different, Hollywood trends and things like that and pop culture. I'm not going to get into all that. But I think this plays a factor. Because if you don't have that much space, there's no room for good. It's only great. But anyway. So I'm trying this is for the viewers. The short story. We're going to get to this now, like the 10 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, we're not even 10. Well, I guess we are looking about 10 minutes because it is like a 5-minute, like slow drift through space and them grabbing her and all that stuff before she would get to the dream. So it's probably about 10 minutes.
Right. And I'm glad we're getting some of the stuff out of the way, the big philosophical ideas and shit. I'm trying to front load those so we can enjoy the movie parts. Fuck. Okay, what do you see? Then dude shows up. Dude, this fucking notes are hilarious. Second chance my ass. Fucking company fucks. God, dude, because that shit did piss me off. I was like, these motherfuckers blacklist her. And then have the nerve to throw it in her face. I know you're not making much money anymore. You're pretty fucked right now. It's like, yeah, you did it to him.
They didn't believe her ass, and then she didn't court martial because she wasn't part of the military. But they fired her ass. They gave her leave or whatever. They told her, yeah, you're not working for us no more. Bye. And then she went and got like a forklift job. Not a forklift exactly because it's the future. She has a power suit.
Right.
It's a forklift suit. There you go. That's what it's called. And that's what she's been doing for whatever time the span was in between her getting back and whenever they like, hey, this colony got attacked by those things you said. But we're not going to say we're sorry, but we'll give you a second chance if you come with us.
Yeah, it's just fucked, man. It's just corpo bullshit. 100% written all over it. And I love it. Because it didn't
I love that actor that they got.
Dude, fuck that guy. The emotional roller coaster that dickhead put me on, because I literally was like, he's a stupid corpo fuck, and I was like, but then he's like, she calls him in the middle of the night and shit, and then I was looking at it and he was like, yeah, man, you have my word, we're doing this, man, and I said, God damn it,
kill him. He said, yeah.
I said he's lying. But I was like, he's not lying. I said, they're lying to him, right? I was like, it's the big executive guys, it's not him. I said, he just doesn't know any better. Oh, boy, was I wrong. Jesus, man. Nah, he did great, dude. He did fucking great throughout the whole movie. Because this is what good acting is. And this is how liars in real life get you. He had the perfect thing. He had the soft facial features. He had the nice soft voice, super caring, seemed like a really nice guy. Like, he had everything. And then when he starts acting like a dickhead at the end of the movie and gets all sassy, I said, there it was. It was there the whole time, but it really wasn't. It's just crazy to think how someone's dynamic can change so fast in life, I guess. So the character was so well written because it almost mirrors how people act in real life too. You see like a nice guy, then somebody pisses him off or his back's against the wall or something. It's like, fuck you. I never liked you anyway. It's like, wait, he said that? It's like you never know until someone behind closed doors or whatever, so but no, that shit was good. Did you notice how they have tiny cups in this movie?
I wasn't paying attention to the cups.
Every cup they had in the whole movie was like short in every scene. I said, why the fuck do they only have tiny cups in the future? Do they have like portion control?
Yeah, I was saying that portion control. Here's this fucking with the Fifth Element. He's got the fucking cigarette with the big old fucking filters.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
Over it says like one a day. Fuck that.
right? I did think it was interesting though. How did they not? Was that a lie too? I
What?
guess they
That
knew. They
they're
were like, "Well, we don't know what happened. We just lost communication." They sent researchers out there. They had to have believed her. It's been what 55 years, so I imagine they sent researchers within 10
well,
years.
no. The attack didn't happen till uh this movie.
But they knew the monsters were there, right?
They from her, but
No,
they didn't believe
from
her.
no, they knew it from her, so they sent a team to investigate, found the monsters, and then they said, "Oh shit, there's monsters here," and then they start
Well,
studying them.
from my understanding, it was the vessel that they found on that planet wasn't one of theirs. It was not human. They didn't know who that spaceship was from, so it was probably from some other alien race that was also exploring the cosmos. Um, because they said it wasn't human in origin. The spaceship or the distress call, the distress signal.
Hmm.
Um, and the yeah, after they got there and then left, or after she survived the first movie, and then it's been 57 years, they mentioned that they had sent a what's it called to terraform the planet, and it takes decades to terraform a planet. So they made it livable for humans, and then they finally sent a colony. They were sending a group of people to colonize that planet. While they were talking to her about this stuff, and she said, "No, tell them that they can't do that." And they were like, "No, we don't believe your story," and stuff like that. So they landed around the beginning of this movie,
Well, they
and then
knew
the
from the
attack happened.
previous movie the aliens were there, right? Wasn't that why they sent them?
No,
Because
no,
that was
they didn't
Saul's
send
or
them. No,
Sal's
no, they
fucking
didn't.
Ash.
Well, they knew about the aliens. The corporation did, but not the not Earth, not the governments and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's what I mean. Yeah, but so when he's talking to her and when she comes back, she's like, "The fucking aliens are there." I'm like, "Yeah, they knew that. They sent you
yeah,
there to get them. That mining mission was a front."
right.
um,
Um,
so then when she says it and they don't believe her, I'm like, "What's? Are they saving face?" I think that's
maybe,
what. Maybe it's like, "Oh, we have to save face because if
probably.
she goes
Yeah,
public with this, we're gonna look
yeah,
bad."
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that was the company. Yeah, that's why they had the power to give her leave. For some reason, I thought it was the government's, but yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah. So they fired her because if she goes public, they're fucked. But they had already
Right,
been. They already knew she was telling the truth because they had
right.
guys over there already researching it. But I think when it went wrong, they didn't know how to fight them, which is also stupid and kind of weird. You've been studying them for how long? 10
Well, I
years
think the
plus?
colonization wasn't the corporation. I think the colonization was the governments. Um,
Oh, you think so?
yeah, because
Yeah,
that's
that's
why they didn't
possible.
know anything about it. The colonists and the 'cause otherwise they'd be over there trying to grab it. Unless they wanted the infection to occur so they can have a giant batch of aliens. I'm not
It's
sure.
possible. Because we'll think that, I
Right,
think he said that's theirs, right? When she said something, he said something about the terraforming thing. He said,
right,
"Beautiful, isn't it? We own those, or we make those." I think it was what he
right.
said.
Uh,
So I have to wonder if they're the ones still behind it all.
could
Um,
be.
which is fucked. But it makes perfect sense.
Right.
But let's see. Second chance bullshit. Dude, I saw
Uh,
yeah Ripley. Dude, Ripley. Fuck it. I
her
love it,
PTSD.
but I
Yeah.
hate it because it's so like she has to do something, right? Because he's like, yeah, we're not gonna destroy him. I said, are you fucking stupid? They were going to kill and sacrifice the entire crew that you were with to get a sample. They will gladly kill the whole colony just to get samples back. They've already shown you that.
Well, they
Um,
explained to her that it was the robot being. He malfunctioned, right?
well, she didn't. They didn't tell her that until he was on the ship.
Okay.
When she met the other one. So I'm like, dude, she fucking knows. Like, but I also thought about it. She does know, but what does she have left? Right? Like, she probably knows better. But then that's what it is, right? Now she can be there to have a hand in
Oh,
it.
did they not have the scene? It might have been in the special edition where they show her a picture of someone that died.
No, I didn't see that. No.
Oh, okay. She has a daughter. In the in the movie that in the 57 years that she was gone or in hypersleep died, like passed away. She
Dang.
grew it. She went. She got. Yeah. She went to. She died of old age or whatever or something. She some kind of disease. I'm not sure. But
Right.
she was an older lady. So they gave her a picture of her like before she passed when she was an old lady. And that was her
Dang, that's
daughter.
fucked up. That's like reminds me of that scene from Interstellar.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Matthew McConaughey, dude.
Yeah,
Fucking tear my heart out. That scene was so fucked.
I love that scene.
I can't handle it, dude. I watched that shit. I'm gonna start crying. I said, "Oh God, I can't watch this movie. I didn't know it was this good. I thought it was just a science nerd movie. You didn't tell me it had the feels." Um, but anyway, so yeah, she doesn't have much left, right? And if she knows they're going to fuck with the aliens, and she knows they're gonna be alive, I think she wants to have a hand in it. It's like, no, I'm gonna be there to monitor this and make sure you kill them. Because I mean, she stays here. What does she got? She's got no. I didn't know she had family in the extended version, but I was like, she has no family. She's got no nothing. She has a shitty job. She has PTSD and has fucked up nightmares every night. It's not getting any better. You know, she stays there. She becomes an alcoholic and dies a fucking shift worker at a dock. Like, so no, I think definitely it probably was the only option she had, knowing that they're fucking lying. But you don't know that, right? And that's what makes it so good. We don't know if she truly believed him or not. And that's just part of the good writing and the good characters in this movie. But some of them get better. We're gonna get to that. Oh, one thing that was cool on the new ship, the budget for this movie, I think probably doubled, if not more.
All right.
But if you look at the ship, it's 57 years later, so all the tech is new. And I said, bro, that's really cool. That's a cool in-lore way to have better budget and better stuff without having it be shitty and like noticeable. And I guess it's not shitty when I say that. Like, you can have just better stuff in your second and third movies. It's not like that makes the movie worse. But I guess sometimes if it's so jarring, which this one wasn't, it wasn't such a big leap in technology. But I just thought it was a nice little tidbit. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. How that worked out. Dude, when she gets the thing, oh my god, this is part of that shit that's like funny. Knowing some spoilers makes it cool, but it also ruins it. Because I knew about the mech scene, so when they leave the planet, I said, no! There has to be more aliens, because now I know that because of the fucking mech scene. I said, god damn it! It ruined it, but it made it better in the beginning, because she says, oh, I know how to pilot that thing. And she had like that bad bitch smug look on her face. I said, yeah, tell her. And she pulled out the mech. I said, it's the thing. I can't wait. So there's a little bit of like excitement for a scene that you're spoiled on, but then sometimes it leads to spoilers.
Right.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but it worked out okay in this case. But also, this is funny as like a pop culture. You ever like not know? Well, you're pretty knowledgeable at most things. But you ever not know a pop culture reference or something, and then years later you've been hearing these quotes and seeing these references, and then finally you find out the media it came from?
Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
That was this movie in a nutshell. Oh my god, there's so much shit from this movie. Not so much, but at least 4 things off the top of my head. I was like, that's from this, that's from this, that's from that.
Yeah.
All this shit just quoted this movie. There was like, I think 3 lines from StarCraft 2. Like one of the Marines, the medevacs, in the pipe, 5x5. And I was like, I didn't know if that's just regular military jargon that they took from the military, or that they just made that up and then StarCraft took it from there. But whatever it was funny. By the numbers, the Marines and shit. Funny, dude. There's also
I love the Marines.
Dude, I didn't like him at first. I was like, here we go. I said, let's just pull them from the fucking list of cliches. Oh look, they even have the angry Latina chick.
I love the angry Latina chick.
Listen, I'm not saying she was bad, damn it. But I'm sick and fucking tired of her being in every movie. She's and it's funny because it's James Cameron. She's the same one from Avatar. She's the same one from this movie. She's the same one from fuck, what was that movie? There was another one, a third one that she's been in, and I was not the same actor, but same character. And I said, god damn it, it's always the strong female Latina every time.
She's great.
And then you had the other guy, the little captain. I said, the captain, they had to push it on so thick that he woke up out of frozen sleep with a cigar in his mouth. What?
That fucking cigar the whole fucking movie.
I said, come on, guys, it's too much. Fucker wakes up out of frozen
sleep with a cigar in his mouth.
Jeez. And you know who it reminded me of?
He was born with the cigar in his mouth.
He was born with a cigar. Oh god, dude, no. You know what he reminds me of though? It's fucking Johnson from Halo 2.
Halo? Yeah, that's literally
I say, God damn it, it's Johnson. Dude, Johnson was probably one of my favorite characters from that game. So, I like that guy, just like I like bad bitch Latina military lady. But damn it, stop! I don't need this. But this movie gets a bit of a pass because I want to imagine it's one of the first ones.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of cliche bullshit. And I was like, God damn it, don't do this to me. So I'm probably gonna take off some points for that. Not much, but I don't know if I'm going to because it's like, how do we know at the time? I need more context because if nobody had done that at the time, all that shit was fucking fresh and great. And to be honest, those characters are still great. I still love fucking Johnson or authoritative black figure in the lead with a cigar in his mouth. I like that guy. So I like the fact that this movie may have created one of like the character archetypes that is super long-standing and interesting. That actually gives it bonus points if it was one of the first ones to do it. So I'm in a weird hybrid where it's like you can't watch something in retrospect and then compare it to things that came after. Don't get it twisted, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they were pretty good. I like the stabbing the fucking hand game.
Yeah.
Because I used to play that in high school.
Yeah.
So it was fucking cool. I don't know where I learned that from. Probably some stupid movie or something. But I like that. Yeah. I used to like that game a lot.
I used to do that in RTC all the time too.
So that was super cool.
Yeah, the android. I prefer what do you fuck artificial person?
Yeah, artificial person, dude. Oh my god. Speaking of, let's just do it now because I got to get to this. The very end of the movie, she ruined it. Ripley ruined it. She had one chance because their relationship throughout the whole movie is awesome, and we can get into that later.
Yeah.
But at the very end, not bad for a human. She's supposed to look back and say, not bad for a artificial human. She was supposed to do it. That was the setup. I was like, no, you gotta do it. That's like the capstone of your relationship. You don't call him a robot no more. Or whatever she called him. Synth.
Synthetic, yes.
Yeah, I was like, that's your whole thing. It's your chance. It was a setup. It's there. It was like the most low-hanging fruit. I was waiting for it, and it just never came. She said thank you or some shit. I said, no, Ripley, please. Oh my god. That little cheesy line may have put that movie at like 11 out of 10 if she would have had that little line. Right. But yeah, no, I like her reaction to that too. Again, more shit that's just like looking at the movie through her eyes is so fucking good. Because that's what keeps it engaging. When she's freaking the fuck out, like, you didn't say there would be synths on board, you know what I mean? And then it's like, she has fucking PT. She almost died. He was literally choking that bitch out, going to kill her. Like, it wasn't even close. And even when they came there, they almost barely didn't kill him. So then it's like, yeah, that's a shock and a slap in the face. And she already doesn't trust them. She already knows they're lying. So that just brings back all this PTSD of being lied about and all this other shit. And then how she just didn't care. There was no social whatever. She's like slammed her plate and shit and like freaking out. I was like, God. But then the Marines, who were also fucking great, didn't care.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, someone else doesn't like the cornbread.
I love it.
They didn't give a fuck about her PTSD or nothing. And that's what makes it good. Because, like, yeah, they don't give a fuck. They've seen some shit. They're not worried about you, your stupid little researcher or advisor, whoever the fuck you are. We don't even need you here. And they're not friends. They barely just met. So all their reactions were really good, man. Like, just the little things, man. And that goes to, like, the very next thing I have is when they're looking at the planet, when they're making their way down to the planet. She's looking at the screen so vigorously.
Right.
When they're like looking at just the buildings and stuff, and looking at her watch the screen, it made me look like I leaned forward and was like, "Is there something in there?" It's just little shit like that adds to like my suspense and my engagement because now I'm wondering what the fuck does she see? Is she seeing something? Did I miss something? And that's good because if you don't have that, I think that's part of what makes stuff good is you have to be able to live through the movie through the character kind of way. And that's what movies are supposed to do. That's part of the whole, like, back to, like, the philosophicals. I don't know who the fuck was talking about it. Plato, Socrates, some shit. When they first invented the idea of, like, catharsis and all that shit. That's the whole point. You're supposed to live the movie through them. You're supposed to, like, feel a sort of scared because she's frantically watching the monitor and it's like,
Right.
is there something there? Now I'm scared of the monitor because she's looking at it, and then you deal with things like that and be able to handle the emotions. But if characters aren't well written, and I don't believe in their stress, and I don't care about their stress or their motivations, their excitement, for example, I'm not going to care. I'm not going to get excited as the viewer if I don't care that the character is excited, or I'm not invested in why they would be excited or scared or whatever emotion. And I think that's something that in horror movies they could do better, because you have to have a character, for example, who's interested. I think in a way that doesn't have to be this super cliche science guy who puts everyone at risk to go, oh, they're there, or the one guy who like there's a demon and he goes to worship it midway through the movie because he's schizophrenic or something. You know, like there's always this weird over the top like level of the guy who's interested or the girl who's like, you know, puts them at risk by opening a door or whatever. But you gotta have those things, just make them really good. Because that, I think the viewer wants to know, right? It's just common curiosity, like what's behind that door? I want to know what's behind the door, and give a character good enough motivations that are believable about wanting to open the door, but make them nervous about it, right? Don't make them just want to open it, because that's what makes us nervous about it, right? Like, oh shit, I can't. What's behind there? And then they go to open it. Don't open it. It's like, but I want you to open it. You know, the will they, won't they? That's the excitement of little things like that. That was a little bit side story, but similar concept in the vein of like horror movies and stuff. And that's what they do really well with Ripley, man. Some of the scenes she does, the look in her face. Whew. There's scenes like
very good at like emotional acting with their face.
Yeah. That shit is crazy, dude. There's scenes where she's just like scanning the room and the Marines are just chilling, and the look on her face, I'm like, there's got to be an alien. There's got to be a fucking alien. Look at that. She knows. And I think a lot of that is because it's a sequel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a sequel, and given her history, this movie gets away with a lot of things that are really good. And it's hilarious to me that so many sequels just completely fucking suck. When you look at how easy it is to do things like that with a well-made sequel. You have established characters who went through growth, who had things happen, who have an established personality and things that you're looking for. You can easily play that into the well-written parts of the next movie. Doesn't have to be horror or nothing. Like you see throughout the beginning of the first movie, somebody's like immature and they just laugh and have jokes all the time and they're super party boy or whatever. And then the next movie comes along and they've learned a little bit by the end of the first one. So the next movie comes along and then like there's some party boy shit going on or whatever that they would have reacted in a certain way. And then it's like, oh, they're going to go party boy or whatever, you know, whatever imaginary thing, put up whatever you want in your head. It's like, that shit's going to happen. And then, you know, you're waiting for it. And then maybe it does or doesn't happen. And then it's like, wait, are they different? And then if they're a little different, why are they different? What's going on? And then that makes the movie interesting because you're like, no, he's the guy. He does that. He would have been dancing. The music's on. And then make other characters who are more serious. Maybe they talk to him about it. It's like, oh, wait, what about you, Dancy boy? No, I'm not feeling it today. And then maybe they're like, have something going on and they're sick or whatever the fuck the movie calls for. But it seems like, yeah, a lot of times you don't have that. There's not this weird anticipation of characters' motivations in the second one. And I think that's half the time because they're in the same situation, acting the same way. I think if characters are stale from the first one to the second one, then it's, I don't know, it's not interesting. I guess. There's no will they, won't they. There's no excitement. There's no, like, because I'm wondering what Ripley's going to do, right? Throughout the whole movie, because she's stronger than she was. Clearly she made it through that. But she's no soldier. She's not just some transformed, you know, military lady. But she's always been strong-willed. But she's still scared.
Yeah.
Her character's very, she has a very good, complex, interesting character. So that's not fair maybe to compare to, like, I don't know, Toy Story, right? Or whatever. Where like Buzz Lightyear in number 2 is the same Buzz Lightyear for number 1, or Woody or whatever, you know. But they were pretty dynamic. I think from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Because you saw sort of a not schizophrenic. What's the word? A panicked Woody in the second one. It was like you'd never seen that side of him. He was always so confident and so whatever, but he's freaking the fuck out. He wants to get out of there. He wants to go back to his family. He's sad. He's vulnerable. You don't see a lot of that, I think, in the first one. No, you see some of it.
Well, he's more jealous in the first one, yeah.
Under the truck.
Yeah.
They're really good characters. Never mind. And that was an unfair comparison. Well, insert whatever, you know, sequel movie.
Whatever trashy movie that has a sequel.
Where the second one, they act the exact same as the first one. Or at least if they act differently, they're put in the exact same situation, whether it's someone's kidnapped or something happens, or the Bleach syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Second arc of Bleach, third arc of Bleach. It's all very samey. And I think that makes the characters less engaging or less interesting. But they make up for that in their new powers. Is usually how they do that. Um,
For
but
sure
anyway,
enough. Yeah.
um,
Uh,
go ahead. What you got?
no, I was say.
Um, oh, next
Anything
thing,
else? Any other like character dynamics? There was the one soldier that he wasn't in charge, but he was like that. Um,
the dickhead behind the screen.
no, after the that guy too. That guy like he seems to be like more like a desk fucking jockey. I don't know because
Right,
like when all the shit was hitting the fan, he didn't know what the fuck to do. When the dude with the cigar went down, he just froze. Uh,
right. Did you like that or dislike that?
I like that actually. You could
Okay.
definitely read that as like, oh, he's a man, who's like trying to put Ripley in her place, and look, he can't do his own shit. But no, I've heard from like soldiers before that like there's officers because they go to officer school rather than going and join being enlisted and then being ranked
Mm-hmm.
get promoted to officers. They come out of school as officers and they have no experience. They literally just they went to school to be officers and they have no actual field experience and they freeze up whenever shit actually hits a fan. um
Right.
so it really portrays that well.
I guess I liked that, and I thought that's what they were going. It was when they went overboard with it. Um,
uh
that was because I liked everything you said, right? Because he was super dickhead, manly man. I'm in charge. Like she tried to say something, he pulled the mic back. Do as you're told,
yeah,
and like I said, yeah,
right,
fuck
right.
you, dickhead. But when he broke down, he didn't just break down normally. He was like freaking out, like for multiple. I think it was the shot length, maybe.
Maybe
It was just
it did
in
go on
his
for a little long.
face for like what 30 seconds of just I don't know. And we get it. You're freaking out, but people
Yeah,
are dying. Like I just didn't. It didn't seem to me he would freak out that much, right?
right.
That was sort of the unbelievable part for me. Is like I get the freak out, the breakdown, because you're right. He was a chair jockey, right? He didn't the fucker did not. He didn't go out there. It seemed like, and he didn't know what he was doing. And I love that bit because he was also the most arrogant, dickhead, overcompensating guy. Um,
Right.
so that whole bit was perfect. I just maybe it was the way it was shot or how long the shot lasted of him freaking out.
Yeah.
That made me like a little bit sour about it. It wasn't bad by any means. It
Oh
just
no,
took
no, yeah,
it took
yeah,
me out a little bit, a little bit anti-immersive because I was like,
yeah.
okay, he's freaking
It
out,
might have
but
just been a little too long, yeah, because I definitely felt that as well. I was like, I was like, I get it. Move
right,
on.
right,
But
we get it. He's freaking out. That was really good. Now you're laying it on too thick, like, which is
no, but I meant the
hilarious.
one that plays in the one who plays Kyle Reese in Terminator.
Ooh, I don't know. That's uh,
He was the main military guy after the guy with the cigar went down and the other guy panicked. He was the like kind of seemed like he was the he was in charge of the rest of them. Um,
the one that was the love interest.
yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he was
Um,
awesome, dude. He was fucking
oh.
perfect. Also, their relationship was fucking great.
Yeah, no, he's the guy who plays in Terminator, the original Terminator. He's the guy who goes back in time.
Oh,
Um, the normal
Mitch
human.
Connor wasn't it, or Sarah? Sarah's the
No, no, Sarah.
daughter.
Sarah was
His mom.
he's yeah, Sarah's his mom,
Right,
and yeah, his name is Kyle Reese.
Kyle.
Kyle Reese.
But no, he was great. I got his lines in there somewhere. There's a bunch of them. Let's dive in, try
Yeah,
and find them and dive into that. It
yeah,
was every time they spoke, man. Like, cause she had when they started speaking, she had pretty
yeah,
much established like, no, I'm a bad bitch and we're not doing this shit. Like, no, we're not fucking
yeah,
freaking out. I've already not that I guess she didn't say I've already done this, but in a way, it's like her
yeah.
presence kind of shows like, no, 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 no. Um,
Like I know the dangers. Y'all don't believe me. This is fucking dangerous, and they're like, nah, nah, nah. We got guns. It's all good.
right. And then when he came to her, I think it was the first time. This is
Right.
the scene that I liked the most, and it was what put me over the fucking edge. It was when he comes up, he's like, "Hey, I want you to have this. It's so
Oh,
I
he
can
gives his
find
gun.
you." And
Oh, the watch. Gotcha.
yeah, he was like, "It's so I can find you with this." And then he was like playing it off kind of cool or whatever. And
Yeah,
then he's like, "Yeah, it's not like we're married or nothing, you know, we're not engaged or nothing, blah blah." He tried to play it off, and I love that scene so fucking much because you can. That's two things, one of the two, maybe both. Either he's got the hots for her, or really, that motherfucker knows they need her. And he is
hmm,
not going to lose her in any means. She is an
right.
MVP now. So if he plays the whole, like, hot guy card, right?
Right.
Maybe he thinks he can like woo her and be like, oh yeah, I'll protect you, lady, or whatever, and like he doesn't know how to approach that way, but he's too manly man to say, I will not make it through here without you.
Right.
So let me give you this. I love the way he approached that scene.
Right.
And then whichever way you take that, it only gets better later on when she's like coming. She comes back to him and is like, teach me how to use these. Or I think maybe he approached her whichever way. Then he's teaching her how to use the guns. It just like solidified it because it was so subtle, but you don't know what it is, right? It could be
Right.
romance, but think about it. She's been kind of fucked and alone forever. So she could have just been glad to spend time with a human being. You saw how much she really enjoyed spending time with the girl. So it was almost like
Mhm.
she got a family in a sense. And it was like, whether or not that was romantic, he could have been like a friend or he could have been some love interest.
Right.
When she smiled, that was like the first time I think she'd smiled the whole movie. When he was sitting there, like, working with her.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
And
It
I was
was.
like, damn, that smile meant so much to me. I said, Ripley's fucking happy. Like, that, it broke the whole movie open. Because there's no way. It's such a fucked up place to be in such a bad circumstance. But that one little companionship thing really mattered. And I think he was really happy about it. Because there's, again, the two things. Either he's like, doing the whole, what do you call it, get real close, put my arm around you kind of thing as like a saw dude. Or
Mhm.
he's super happy because he feels like, yeah, dude, she's like, I'm getting to train her and like we can make it out of here. She's our hope and now she knows how to use guns. It's going to work, right? Um,
Right.
so whether he's weak or strong, that scene is perfect. And that's just fucking good, man. Just fucking good. Whatever you take those scenes as romance, non romance, weakness, strength, all that shit, it's just perfect.
Could be all of it.
Yeah, it could be all of it too, right? That's
It
the
could be
kind of
romance,
shit, man.
and he sees her as really strong and can help him stay alive.
Right.
Uh,
Dude, it's just too good, man. It's too
or because
fucking
of how
good.
strong she is, he likes that.
Right?
That she doesn't need protecting. That she can be
Porque
safe
no los
when he's not
dos.
around. Yeah.
No, it's true. Also, I liked what's her name too. The big tall dumb guy and what's her name?
Mhm.
That was the same too, right? He didn't die early. The one who was like they were like smacking each other. She's like, "Fuck you." He's anytime, girl.
Uh, was that him? I thought that was the guy that died, and she was like, that moment when they had to leave the one guy behind, and he said he's done for, and she was trying to go back. I liked that moment a lot for
Woo!
her.
Buddy, yeah, because she's not the type. She just lives in like not a fantasy land, but we're gonna go out and kick some ass, and everything's gonna be fine. It's been fine my whole life. If I'm strong enough and I'm headstrong enough, everything will work out. And then it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the guy that got left behind. The one that was anytime, girl. I'm pretty sure that's the
Okay.
guy that
See,
got
then
that got acid on his arm, and then got. Or was it? I don't remember. One of them got left behind. I remember her trying to
Right.
go back for him, and the other guy, the coward asshole guy.
right,
Um,
they had their moment. Because she had two moments that I thought were really good. Well, it was that one, and then yeah, when she's like in the ducks,
yeah,
because that shit is just too good, man. Because her character is like, I don't know, she's kind of dumb, but like not in a making fun of her way. But she's the same one who was like, "Give me your bullets." Nah, fuck
right.
that. I'll take them shits, and almost killed everyone. Like, what are you stupid? I think she's the one that she started the reaction, didn't she?
I think so. Yeah,
By shooting the fucking bullets, and it's like,
yeah,
God. Now, in their defense, could the stupid desk jockey been like, "Hey, if you shoot your bullets down there, you're gonna blow us all to hell, so don't shoot the bullets." It was just this weird blind call. Give them their bullets now. No why, no nothing, and that's the sort of ignorance that like the military pisses me off sometimes. It's like, yeah, do what you said, no matter what. No questions, no nothing. Your orders are this, just do it and turn your brain off. If they would have just said, literally, you're gonna die if you shoot the bullets, then they would have probably been more likely to not shoot them because they value their own lives. So that's the
right.
stupid chair guy's fault, I think.
Yeah,
So her character's kind of in line, but
right.
as far as like, yeah, she had every reason to be like, "Fuck you, you don't know what you're talking about," kind of thing. She's also the one on the ground doing the work, so I'm like, yeah, fuck that. She definitely makes sense, but she's also headstrong. Like this will just work out. So when she's sitting there trying to fight him and always staying back, it's like I think she truly believed in those vents that she could just kill them all on the way out.
Right.
And it's like, dude, fuck, man. But yeah, and then they had their moment too, like just talking shit, whatever. And then it was like, they both know they're gonna die because he went back for her too. I'm like, man, that was also his moment because he was a scaredy bitch. Um, and he
Yeah.
actually went back for her, and it's like shit. Um, he would have never done that, I think,
Right.
historically. But
Yeah.
when like what do you call it? When pushed into a corner, his true colors showed, and he went back
Yeah.
for
Exactly.
her.
Like who
So,
saw?
and he may have actually learned that from her, right? When she's like,
Maybe. Yeah.
no one's left behind. We don't leave a man behind. And then maybe he thought about what she said when she was gonna go
Yeah.
back out for dude, and he's like, she would have done that for me.
Right.
And then he went back, and these are the sort of fucking. This is beautiful writing. Listen, you people, listen. If you're artsy fartsy fucker, you're a regular casual watcher. If you're anything, and you just like stories, dude, this is what we're talking about, guys. This is why I got to put it on a silver platter, because now you're better off to like see it when you see it. And that's not making fun of anybody, It's, but that's the whole point. Is like if you don't see this stuff, sometimes it's hard to put a finger on why is this better. It's stuff like that, man. You never got any of that. Everything we just said was not quite made up, but they didn't say it,
Right. They didn't
right?
show. They didn't just outright tell you like, "Look what happened."
Right,
they, they just fucking do it, and then you catch it when you
right.
watch it.
And then if you don't catch it, maybe you was doing a second
Okay.
watch, and then that's what makes second watches interesting. It's like, oh shit, this is what happened. Remember this? Then later on, she does this, and like, oh, and it makes second watches good. It makes talking to your friends about the movie good. It just makes movies and stories in general, stories, they're better because it gives them just such this wholeness. Not, yeah, I watched that. It was cool. It's out of my brain. Like, there's room for those movies, I guess, but yeah, she was well done, and that's why I say all the cliche bullshit in the beginning, they ended up being such amazing, like well done characters by the end, and I was like, holy cow, all of them, even fucking Ripley had to snap that dude. Dude, what'd she say? She said, "You need to sit down and calm down. I don't need your bullshit right now," or something. I said, oh, Ripley. um, that shit was good. Uh, two things in the beginning. Stupid shit. When they were going in the facility, I said, "Why the fuck in every single sci-fi movie ever made, you have to hack the door? The panel just falls open." Just woohoo! You need to hack it here. Just the panel just falls straight open. No security measures. Just open the panel and touch some wires. And every single time, like, dude, I'm tired of this stupid panel flop that just opens up like a fucking gateway to have everyone hack it. Dude, that shit is. It's not that bad. I'm being dramatic, but I was like,
Right.
dude, stop. But maybe this is again. This is the movie that invented it. I don't know. I don't think it's good ever. I don't think it's ever good unless they like rip that shit off. I think like in Star Wars, it looked like when Han was hacking the door at the end of 6, it
Yeah.
looked like they had ripped the door off, and they were like really fucking with the wires. They also had 3PO there. Maybe he's not smart enough to do that, but R2. They had a couple.
3PO.
They had a couple bots,
Yeah.
that maybe would have made that more believable. Because I don't think Han knows all this fucking. He don't know what those wires do. Um, but yeah, most of the time, I think that sort of scene is just don't do that. It's gonna make like it's not good. It's not that it's bad. It's just a little nonsensical. Um, but not a huge deal. That's not something I might even take off points. So I'm not gonna, not a big deal. But the
Right.
next one was that when they put her in the front, uh, they put the chick in the front with the biggest gun out of all of them. I was like, that's stupid. That thing that's not maneuverable. I said she is not the one to go in quickly and identify a threat and react in left or right positions. She needs to be either in the middle or the back with the biggest gun. Like you need someone with high maneuverability to be able to scan the area quickly and react accordingly. Why the fuck did they put the biggest, slowest, heaviest gun in the front? Um, but I'm not a military guy, so any military guys, leave it in the comments. Actually, squadrons are formed like this, and this, or police SWAT or whatever. If you know something, hey, let me know. But it did seem a little funny that you would put the most immobile person up front, unless of course they had like a shield or something. A montaña. Uh,
Yes.
let's see what else, dude. They were another fucking 20 minutes in the movie. Um,
Well, there's a lot of just action scenes, and we mentioned a lot of the important bits in the action scenes, like the character moments in the action scenes.
right.
Which that's another thing I've mentioned it all the time. The character is the most important thing in horror movies that people still forget to fucking do, and they just do just action. That's what it needs to be. It needs to be like character
Right.
moments inside the action to like elevate them because yeah, I'd forgotten how much that this movie has like that. The lines that they have during the action sequences and should inform their character rather than just convey what they're doing and their state of mind.
Right, right. No, you're right, because that's the kind of shit, like, the action is a subsequent what do you call it? It's, how do you say it? It's I don't want to say the word like reaction. What is the word? Something that comes because of something else.
Consequence.
Consequence, yeah. The action is a consequence of whatever the fuck they were doing and who they are as characters to begin with. Right? That's what makes stories interesting. Even something in this movie when they take their bullets and like, yeah, fuck that, and they cause this meltdown. That's a consequence of their actions. And that's what makes the story interesting. It's not, oh no, there's a bomb, we're gonna go do that. Why is there a bomb? Why is that here? What is this? It's just like when you put these weird set pieces in the middle to like force the plot along, the characters' actions have no meaning. Like, every story should be systemic off like what the characters have done to push the plot in that direction. Especially horror, right? Like, everything should be based on what they did. Especially when you give them warnings. That's what makes horror better, too. It's like, don't do that. Don't go to that place, it's haunted. Sure. Then you go there and it's fucking haunted. Like, no shit, jackass.
Yeah, it causes tension whenever you tell a character they can't do something, and then you see them do it, like, fuck, what's about to happen?
Right. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna run away. Well, what does running away do, right? What theoretically could running away cause the story to go in what direction? And that's the writer's problem. Because that's what writers are supposed to do. You're supposed to say, okay, this character would react in this way, given what they have. Now, why is that interesting? I don't know. I'm going to make it interesting. Because, oh, they were running so fast, they didn't think about it, and they ran through a door and locked it. Now they're in an even worse place. Because they didn't think twice about the door they were running through. It's like, oh, fuck, it only gets worse. What do we do now?
Yeah.
And it's like, for example, Ripley's decision to go lay down with Newt. That's a very, like, character-driven, real shit. And that gave Dickhead the perfect opportunity to lock her ass in there and die.
And turn off the camera. Oh,
right.
my. Yeah.
He literally planned everything out because she made that decision. Also, they made the decision to let him, like, be there. You know what I mean? Like, and be involved and have all this power and everything else. Like, there was just a lot of things that led to this. Their ignorance with, like, the company led to that. There's just so many things that led to him being able to do that in that moment. That's what makes it interesting, because then you start thinking, motherfucker, if she would have done this, now this is a little bit, I think, a little bit of like a hole in that plot, is that why the fuck was her room in the lab that the monsters were in? That's what I'm going to give like a minus points for.
They're stuck in their things. They're trapped.
No, they had like two bases of operations. One was services or whatever, and operations, and one was somewhere else. And I don't think when she put her there the first time, she said, I'll be right here in the next room. I don't think it was in that lab room. Maybe,
not sure.
maybe not. I think either way, if I do take off some points, maybe it's like, what, 0.2, right? I'm not going to give that such a harsh rating. But I do think that's a little contrived, if that's the case, where it was like that. But imagine it was set up better. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is that all those decision-making processes led them to be there, and that's what makes it interesting. It wasn't just, hey, we're in here. Oh no, there's a monster in our room. That would have felt a lot more cheap. And
Right.
I think overall, you can still do that, right? You can definitely still have that, and it still be interesting. And this is why I think mediocre movies get away with it, because it doesn't matter, right? We have to have them running from the monster. All right, just put a monster in there. Okay, cool. Monster's in there. It came through the vents while they were sleeping. Sure. But when you have it be entwined with the character's actions and decisions, when you try and connect everything together, that's what makes good storytelling good storytelling. At least until you go too far. With, oh, so-and-so's his cousin, who's also his grandmother's sister, who's also this, who's also his boss, who's also related to his girlfriend who was betraying them. Like, oh, God, please. That shit's too much. Like soap operas and movies, they just try to like artificially add tension. They just make everyone fucking related,
Right.
biologically or relationship wise, or educationally or whatever the fuck they do together. But yeah, that sort of tightness though. But that's why those movies still work, because that
Right.
connectivity is what makes storytelling better. Is that you have all these intertwining people and decisions they make and the situations they're in and all that stuff. It's why I think relationship couples are really interesting in horror movies. And I don't know if they do that enough. Is if you have a couple and they're together, you know, you got like Tony and Dan, they're like, you know, some dudes and out there together and they love each other, and then they get split up or something's happening and then someone else needs to be saved. No, fuck you. I'm going to pick Tony up. You know what I mean? Like, they may not
Right.
say that out loud, but that sort of tension, that matters. It's like, then what the fuck are we gonna do? And then imagine they all survive, then they meet back up. You fucking left me. You left me. And then they starts crying. I'm sorry. And then because you know he didn't want to do that, but he was like, I couldn't leave him behind. Then it's like, now am I gonna forgive you or not? Were they friends before? And then now you have this huge, like, unrelated to the horror, but still related to the horror moment between all those characters, the three of them or however many you have.
Right.
That shit's really good. Anyway, short story long. Characters are fucking important. Who else characters wise? Since we're on the topic of characters,
Did we finish talking about the corporate guy or no?
we covered it. I think most part. They should have fucking killed him. What did he say? He said, "I'm gonna grease you like a fat pig, you son of a bitch." I said, "Yeah, grease him. Do it now." And then Ripley's stupid bitch ass. Again, I love it, but I fucking hate it. She has like morals. She's a good person. I also don't think she wants Newt to watch them shoot this fucker in the head.
Right.
But yeah, she's like, no, he has to go back. He has to face trial or whatever the fuck. And I was like, oh, please, Ripley, not now. I was like, not now, dude, not now. He was willing. He put a fucking face hugger on you. It's just crazy. Who has that level of like, I don't know, goodness?
Restraint?
Yeah, or like, no one does that. God damn it, dude. But look at the first one. What did she do? She said, we have to leave you out there. It's protocol. We have to do it the right way.
Right.
She was going to kill 2 people.
True.
So she didn't give a fuck. It was the right way to do it. So
Yeah.
it still
makes sense.
coincides with her character. I fucking
Yeah,
hate
because
it.
the reason behind both of those situations, even though one was killing 2 people and one was saving
Right.
somebody who fucked her over, right? Because like she's killing people who didn't do anything wrong to her, and then the other situation, she's letting a guy live who fucked her over. But both choices make sense with her character because her line of thinking at the bottom of both of those was, "These are the rules."
Right. It's fucking good, man. It's just fucking good, dude. This is you can't write this shit. Oh wait, they did.
I was about to say that. No, they did. We watched it. All right.
Oh, Newt. We gotta get into Newt because she's another over the top best fucking character, dude. When she hit, because she just had some. It was no shit, mic drop level moments with a couple of her lines. Because in Ripley's reaction to her too is fucking good. When they first meet, Newt has not made a singular sound. And the first thing Ripley does, shh, shh, it's okay. She kept telling her to shush. She's not saying anything. She never made a peep. But Ripley kept repeating, shh, it's gonna be okay. And I'm like, normally, right, people are probably freaking out, right? Maybe she'd be screaming or whatever. It's like she's going through this playbook of how to comfort people. That she's not even, like, doing it correctly. She's doing what she thinks she knows. Because I guess, and this is, again, the extended version kind of ruins this idea. But I never saw her with kids. She seemed like a bad bitch who doesn't have no kids, right? She's been worried about her career. So then watching her interact with Newt the whole time was perfect. Because throughout the beginning, you can tell, even when she talks to her, she's like, is this your doll? What's her name? It was very scripted, not in the sense like the movie, but like, what do you do when you talk to kids, right? It's like when you hand a guy a baby. Oh, what do I do with it? It looked like she didn't know how to comfort children because she never had to. She didn't. And then when she says, it's okay, she'll have good dreams. She said she doesn't have, or she won't have nightmares. She doesn't have nightmares. She's plastic. I said, holy. And it just fucked me up, dude, when she said that. And the fact that it fucked me up so bad, and Ripley just looked at her and smiled and said, "Yeah, I guess you're right." Whew! Oh my god. She handled that with the grace and like the cover that I don't think many people could have done.
Right.
Because like she showed no emotion. She just smiled as if that was like as if that wasn't a revolutionary breaking point that she didn't know even who she was talking to or how she was supposed to talk to her.
Right.
And then ever since that moment, their relationship grows. And Ripley starts to act a little bit different, starts to talk to her a little bit differently, and things kind of open up a bit. And I was like, she starts treating her a little bit more like a person. And I was just like, and maybe I'm missing up the timeline, but I think that was right after. And just shit like that, man. It's like, as that kind of like shocked Ripley, I think, in how to deal with her. Um, and I thought that was really good. Also, I liked her character because when she's around with the people, she's far from dumb. So when they're all looking at the little schematics, she wants to look. Um, she just wants to look at it and be a part of the group, and she wants to help. And I thought that was really cool. Secondly, again, characters, man. She goes around the corner, and I think it's the relationship guy, or for lack of a better name, Hicks maybe. And then she goes around the corner, and he sees her, and he doesn't, we're talking adults are here, nothing. He picks her up and puts her on the desk so she can hang out and be a part of everyone. And I said, God damn it. It just showed this level of like compassion that was almost similar to what he was showing to Ripley. And I was like, man, this guy, these little gestures, man, because I think all the other Marines would have like pushed her away, right?
Yeah.
Or been like, we're doing stuff. And if they didn't push her away, they would have just not acknowledged her. He went out of his way to make sure she was acknowledged. And I was like, that's just little stuff like that, man. um, just good, dude. Just really good. Yeah, Newt's lines were great. Um,
Oh yeah. The that part where they're like she was in the vent and she slid all the way down into that water.
mhm.
Um, that's the one I was telling you about before, where the actress for the little girl kept fucking up her lines so she could keep going down the slide.
Really?
Yeah. And they were like, "Hey, if you do it right, we'll let you just play on it the rest of the time. This is your only scene for the day." She said, "Okay."
That's
She did her
really
line
funny.
because she kept going like, she'd go, "Ripley, wee." They're like, "God damn it."
That's fucking perfect, dude. That's really funny. Well, it's like that one you sent me about Tom Holland, right? There's
Right,
so
yeah.
much funny things that go behind the scenes of like, acting and stuff like that, and how they change the shots up, and sort of like the liberties they're given day to day on how to shoot things and stuff is wild.
Hmm.
Which is why I think some movies come out shit and some come out better. Because if you have a good director and you have a good cast and you have a good dynamic between all of them, they're kind of on the same page. Those little mini rewrites throughout the filming make the
Yeah.
movie so much better. But then when they're all conflicting and they're not on the same page and the director kind of sucks and the actors are pretentious and think they should get to change the lines as well, and then the movie comes
Yeah.
out shitty because it's like too many conflicting cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
With those little mini reshoots. Um,
So I think we talked about all the characters and the relationships with the other characters. Um,
yeah, let me see. A lot of my notes from here are just like my reactions, like holy, how over the top and exciting it was every
all
beat.
the action and stuff.
Yeah, like these fuckers were testing them, colony my ass is my fucking one of my notes. um, let's see. Um,
I think they were testing them after the what happened to her dad, because it seemed like her dad didn't know anything that was going on, right? But I don't. Well, you didn't see that scene, but I
right.
don't know. Um,
Um,
uh,
that's why it does seem like that scene matters. It may need a rewatch on my part or something or whatever, because if that scene is technically like the canon, what they really wanted for the movie, it changes a lot. Some of the points I've made are based solely on the fact, like I mentioned, Ripley didn't have kids, so her interaction with
yeah.
Newt is super important, and it makes her
But
character.
the kid didn't become canon until like one of the was it Alien Isolation 2, or I don't know. I didn't play those games that much. I played like one of those once,
Mhm.
randomly
Wait,
off like
Isolation
like,
2?
what
I thought
try?
there was only
Yeah,
one Isolation. That was the
I
Mecha. That
thought that
was
was two.
that was the God game. No, that was like the only one that
Um,
was the best.
well, there's a but yeah, the Ripley's daughter is the main character of one of the games.
Yeah, that's the one in Isolation.
Oh, okay then, yeah. Um,
Amanda Ripley, I think her name is.
yeah, Amanda Ripley is her name. Yeah.
um,
But
That
that's
was a
it.
pretty
Yeah,
good, yeah.
yeah,
So it's a retcon. Um,
yeah.
okay, then I'm saying the original movie's canon then. Um,
Okay.
because
I mean,
it
they
seems
got
better
it
this
from
way.
that deleted scene. It's the super edition, and it seems to. I was it. People said that you don't really need to watch the super edition. It's good without it. As I'm looking up stuff like which versus like theatrical versus super edition. Everybody's like they're both great. They're like a lot of people are saying that you can basically surmise everything that all the scenes from the super edition from people's dialogues, and I was like, okay, well, I mean.
So, but they were filmed
There
at the
were,
same time?
well, the movie was yeah, there were
Or
deleted scenes.
deleted
Yeah,
scenes. Okay, were they deleted because they didn't have space, or deleted because they didn't like the way that they fit?
the movie was 2.5 hours long, and back in the 70s and 80s, they were like, nah,
Right.
for movies
Okay,
being
well
that
that's
long.
unfortunate then. So maybe it is canon, and some of the stuff with Ripley and Newt is just I'm making that shit up. Which is unfortunate. I really like that. Um,
It's
but
fine. I mean, there's movies that are like that. Where was it like Donnie Darko? If you watch the theatrical version, it is it's a movie about a really delusional kid that has mental problems. Like he's what's it called? Disassociating himself with like fucking reality because he had all these fantasies in his head about time travel and shit like that, and uh, and then ultimately fucking commits suicide, or just a tragedy. He just dies.
right,
Where if you watch the director's cut, it's a movie about a superhero teen who gets the ability to time travel and ends up killing himself so he can save the timeline, so he can save his family and all his friends. Um, So it's it's just whatever you want to read it, whichever version you prefer. Um,
right. Then I'm gonna go
so
with the theatrical then, because that shit's good,
uh,
dude. The subtlety, especially, makes it better.
yeah, yeah,
Dude, you know what's
yeah. Well, so
funny?
with Donnie Darko, I'm the only one that likes the theatrical version. So, um, uh,
That makes sense though. Most people you probably
yeah,
talk to who just watched it casually were not gonna like appreciate it, right? They'll
right.
say it's weird. It's like, yes, the whole point.
Like they cut out. Well, it's the first one. They're like they cut out the fucking all the superhero bits. They cut out all the lore and how he affects the timeline and all these things and how he is. All right, yeah, but I like the more tragic aspect of like he's just a delusional kid. Um,
Right.
but it's fine.
Dude,
Um,
speaking of some random side shit, I won't go all the way details of a fucking phenomenal movie that's I think is like horror adjacent was
right.
The Butterfly Effect.
Oh, I love that movie.
That
Yeah, yeah,
movie's
it's
fucking
that's
good,
the
dude.
movie that made me like Ashton Kutcher as an actor, and I want to see him in more serious stuff. Um,
That movie's terrifying. And it's funny
I
because
love
it's
that
not
movie.
like nobody would classify it as a horror movie probably.
I didn't
But
classify it as a horror film, no.
that movie
Um,
fucking scares the shit out of me because when I watch it, I guess it's the first time mainly. The second and third, it's not as impactful.
Oh, yeah, in the beginning when like the kid's just fucking blacking out.
No,
Um,
not the blackouts. It's the changes in reality. It's like
okay,
it's all the fucked up shit that happens when he comes back. It's
right.
it's so shocking and jarring. It's like what the fuck's gonna happen next? Sorry, not terrifying is not the right word. It's not terrifying. It's not scary. It's like my chest hurts when I watch it
Oh,
because I
okay.
was like, wait. He did this and now this is like that. What the fuck? Right? He comes back. His fucking best friend's like a crack whore and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? And then when he starts towards the end, especially, he's like frantically trying to fix it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is he gonna do? You can't fix it. Um, it spirals, man. It's just like the fucking
Yeah, I
tension. It
love that
just
movie. Yeah, all the
holy
different timelines and
shit,
stuff that he creates.
tension. That's
Um,
the word. That the
yeah,
tension.
yeah, yeah.
My fucking chest hurts with how
My
much
favorite
tension.
timeline, or the favorite part of the movie, is when he goes to with the one where he blows up he drops the dynamite and it kills his best friend,
That
and
shit's
then
so fucked.
he's in a psych ward, and he's like, "Where's my books?" And because he went further back than when he before he had books, so he doesn't have any books in
Yep.
this.
He said the only
Because
thing.
he never goes to see anyone that tells him, hey, you need to write these books. And I said, holy shit, he's
Whew,
stuck.
dude, it's fucked. And then the very end, right when he's frantically, he runs in. He said, "Well, your dad has his old tapes or something." And
Right.
that fucker's like running and fucking barricades the door and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on, dude? Holy shit. Then the ending, oh my god, that movie's fucking great.
He
That
couldn't make
movie's
a timeline where him and all his friends were happy, except for the one where his arms were blown off and he was a cripple.
Was that the
And then he
one? I
was
think
trying
that was
to.
the best one, right? No,
Uh,
not the cripple. But didn't he wake up and like he had it all? He had like hot naked bitches in his bed.
that was the
His,
that was the very first time he changed everything. I think.
everything was
Well, okay, the
perfect.
first time he changed something, he gave himself a little cigarette burn on his belly. But yeah, after he realized that he can do that, he went back in time and he got everything right. But he wasn't who he was in the beginning of the movie. This is a whole ass fucking. I love this movie. I watched this movie so much.
Like we'll do it later.
Yeah.
We'll have a special edition. We'll go back and do that later.
Um.
It's good though.
Anyway. But back to Alien.
Yeah, back to Aliens.
Yeah,
Did you see? When the little character moments, when that fucker's like interrogating a little girl, where are your parents? That motherfucker, they got eaten by aliens. Are you stupid?
Right.
What are you stupid? Where are your parents? Oh, I'm getting nothing from her. And then Ripley's like, just leave. Like, yes, you're getting nothing from her. Dude, you know what's also funny?
That was the dickhead guy, right? That was the one that was.
No, I think that was Scaredy Pants, wasn't it?
Was it okay?
I don't know. It's all like generic white guys.
Right.
Not all generic white guys, because I liked big buff angry guy who was best friends with the angry Latina lady.
Yeah.
He was cool. He at least not that he was cool. I didn't like that kind of guy. I was like, fuck this guy. He's a douchebag retard. But he was great as far as his character, right? Like, I don't have to like a character as a person to like their character in a movie. So I thought he was great.
Right.
But one of them, I think it made it. No, he was already dead at the time. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So no, because they found the girl before they went in the expedition, right? No.
Yes. No, they found her before they found any aliens.
Right. So then he would have been alive.
Yeah.
May have been him. And they have names. I'm just not good with names.
Yeah, I forgot all of them.
So
a
I
couple
know
of them look the
Hicks.
same.
One is called
Hey,
Hicks.
even in the beginning of the fucking movie, when the dude called him Hicks, he's like, "I'm Hudson. That's Hicks."
Bro!
Like, yeah, you all look the same.
Yo, that's fucking funny.
The movie knew it, and they're like, "All right, you're gonna mix them all up. Here you go. We're gonna put a joke."
That's so fucking funny. That's actually beautiful. That is actually, and I forgot about that line, but it's so appropriate, dude. Because it is funny though, because someone makes the joke, right? What do they say? Oh, all Asians look alike. I'm like, dude, all whites look alike. I was like, especially the generic ones, right? I said, go look at Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon. They're the same person.
But they're not.
It's just that one movie. I'll never let that go. It was that one movie they were both in with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
That movie they were in, I said, they're
Departed.
fucking twinsies. They're the same person.
The Departed.
I literally actually got them confused and called them by each other's names for like 4 or 5 years after that movie came out. Like, it was
Kate
bad.
makes fun of it too. He said, "Those motherfuckers look exactly the same."
So yeah,
Why are they in the same movie?
I love it.
So all we got left is: do you like the new added lore of the Alien Queen?
Yes. Actually, hold on, I'm not done. I gotta. That was
Okay.
like the very end. Let me see. Her brother's name was Little Timmy, by the way. Fucking hilarious, George. I stopped. For those of you who don't know, Little Timmy is what I use for every example of a child. Period. Or Little Sally. If it's a female child, but it's little Timmy, Little
It
Sally.
would have been perfect if her name was Sally.
Oh my god, dude! I'd die. It'd be over. And it was just funny as fuck. Is it Little Timmy? Little Timmy's trapped in the well. Little Timmy was the kid from fucking spooky zombie cannibals forest. It's just any little kid who's named Little Timmy is just too fucking funny in media. Let's see, dude, the robot. This is another thing because we didn't talk about the robot's character.
Oh, yeah, Bishop.
I have notes here. Also, fuck that robot. I don't trust his bitch ass at all. Why is he studying those things? What is he doing there? And I was like, I didn't trust him at all, dude, because there was no... he was not there to study those things, so why the fuck does he have it on the table and he's examining it? I didn't like that shit. Also, where was the acid? Shouldn't it have burned? They had it cut open. Shouldn't it have burned through the plate? Stupid little nitpick, not important.
Right.
Dude, Ripley's reaction to the chest rip made that shit twice as bad for me. When they were in the underground,
Right.
that shit fucked me up because I thought about it. I was like, if you just showed me that normally, I'd be like, ooh, spooky, it's an alien. I know how they're born. It's not that bad. But watching Ripley's reaction to it almost made me react worse. I was like,
Yeah, 'cause she was reliving it.
right. So it made
Not only
me
was she
scared.
reliving it, she was also reliving her fucking nightmares that she kept having
Right.
after.
That shit was real, dude. And the look on her face, I said, oh, fuck, dude, get out of here. Just leave, leave, leave. Like, I was so much more scared than I would have been, or like uncomfortable, I guess is the word, than it would have been. Let's see. Then, oh yeah, another good character moment. The dude who got the fucking acid on his arm.
Mhm.
They went to go like, grab his shoulder, comfort him, talk to him, whatever, or something. He's like, "Get away from me, man!"
Right.
Like freaking the fuck out. And I was like thinking about it. I said, "Why is he going crazy?" I said, "How the fuck would you react when you just got acid burns on your arm and all your friends are dead and you think your life is over?" Like,
Right.
he can't even process that shit right now, let alone have someone fucking touch him. Maybe he thought an alien got him when they touched him.
Right.
So like that just fucking details.
Details.
Dude, holy shit. Ripley, when they're driving away, and she just fucking slams it, just like fucking.
Yeah.
Dude, her eyes are just fucking wide, gripping the steering wheel. Fucking just. And he's like, ease up, we're clear, ease up. And then he actually slowed his voice down.
Right.
And that meant a lot. Because he didn't just tell her to calm the fuck down. He had the presence of mind in a stressful situation.
I would have yelled. I would have calm the fuck down. We're out of there.
Right. No, and that's what I mean. I think that was the same relationship guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. His shit has been. I forgot about that one earlier when we mentioned his lines.
Yeah.
That's another one that's just over the top. He had the presence of mind to be able to like help her slow down and like speak that the correct way.
Right.
It's just little shit, man. Oh yeah, Hicks. When Hicks got promoted, I guess Hicks was the dumb guy. Or the scared guy, not the dumb guy. Hicks was the scared guy.
I thought he was.
When they look, he was looking on his face because I have it right here. When he was like, "We're gonna have to blow this whole place with a nuke," he was like, "No, you can't do that. It's property. It's $7 million, or some shit." And he was like talking all this shit, and then she was like, "Actually, this is a military operation, and I believe Hicks is the commanding officer now." And then it shows the look on his face, and he's just, "Yeah, I guess that's true, or I guess that's right."
Right.
That's
yeah,
fucked.
Hicks is that guy. Yeah.
That's fucked, dude. You could just the look on his face, like he's not happy about that promotion. That promotion that reminded him that all of his fucking superiors and all his friends are all dead. Like reminding him of his promotion at that moment was fucked. But then he snapped back into it, and he was like, "But shit, I am in charge. We have to do something about this." So then he kind of smiles and says, "Yeah, let's go blow these fuckers to hell or something." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, he's bouncing back." Little stuff like that, man. It's just non-stop beats, dude. This whole movie, holy, like a fucking kid in a candy store. Let's see. Oh, did you see the little girl was helping carry the body on like the stretcher?
Yeah.
That was so cool. And then later on, she's actually carrying like some stuff with them, like when they were getting all set up. Just so cool because that's indicative of her character. She's very mature and very like self-reliant. So she wasn't just like holding onto Ripley's, coat and walking behind. She was helping carry. I was like, that's so cool, dude. Let's see. Dude, the fucking alien in the plane. Oh god. I can't handle that. Just fuck, man. What is that shit? Like it was the goo, that's what it was. Little shit like that. And this is one thing the movie does fucking phenomenally. Throughout the entirety of the movie, it never got above a certain stress level, but it never got below a certain stress level. Because every time they would increase the stress level, like for example, "Oh, hey, we're coming with the plane. We're going to meet it to you guys. No worries." And he puts his hand on some goo. I said, "It's over. It's fucking over." I said, "I can't fucking take this." And the stress level like shoots through the roof. I'm like, "Oh, fuck, dude. It's over." And then the fucking plane crashes and they all die. But then the alien's dead. So the stress level goes back down. and then something else happened. I can't remember what it was, and the stress level goes up, and then it goes back down. And then it's like, oh, we're trapped in here with a bunch of aliens, or we're whatever, like something's happening. Then they fix it. And then the power goes out. I said, of course the power goes out. Um, it was just like perfect. This perfect ebb and flow of like highs and lows, but very small highs and lows. um, what do they say? The wavelength?
Yeah.
The frequency? I don't know what there's
Frequency.
smart guy terms. But the peaks and troughs were much shorter. They were more shallow.
The valleys, the
Yeah.
peaks and valleys.
Yeah, those ones. They were much smaller than like modern day horror, where it's
Right.
like modern day horror is one huge peak at the start of the movie, then one huge valley at the end of the movie, then like a middle peak at the end, or even a high peak at the end. It's like a triple part
Yeah.
high, low, high. This movie had so many little micro peaks that made it so interesting and so engaging all the way throughout. And that's just something the movie does really
Yeah.
fucking well.
It should
But-
be like, I would say the movie should really start out kind of low, but like still kind of like tense. It dip down a little bit, go high, low, high. But every time it goes back down, it shouldn't go level with the original low. It should just it goes down a little higher than it was before.
Right. Because yeah, that's what it is.
that's
It increasingly increases the stakes. How do I say that's weird? English is hard, but because like in the beginning, the highs and lows were like, getting bigger, right? Because first it
Right.
was like spooky shit, someone died. Then it's like there's aliens, but there's only one in the plane. Then there's a couple. Then there's a fucking herd of them. Then there's a queen, right? Now the queen arguably is a little bit less threatening, with the way that it was shot and how she was introduced and all that. We can get to that, but I think you're right though. Overall, it went high, low, but the lows kept getting a little bit lower. Whereas the high remained the same. We're still fucked.
Right.
But we're less fucked than we were from the last low. And that's that shit that makes it so good, man. But yeah, dude, game over, man. Game over. I never knew that was from this movie.
Game over,
I've been
man.
saying that shit for years, dude. I fucking can't. He said, game over, man. I said, oh, no. Oh, my God. Let's see. We got the locator. That was when he gives her that shit. Little
And we got the
girl,
part where the android decides he's gonna be the one to go outside to.
really good. He said, I may be, what is it? I may be synthetic, but I'm not dumb. That shit was good, dude. Like, fuck, man. And that was part of the building block of his character. What made him so good, is that all throughout, he grows on me as a viewer, but then he grows on Ripley too.
Right,
And
because
that's
you
what-
also don't trust them because you saw the first movie.
Right.
They're fucking. They're not trustworthy. Fucking
Right.
these synthetics.
Even then he says it. He says, "Oh, he must have had a glitch or something." There was no glitch. He was programmed. He was programmed to do that, just like you are. Let's just fucking get that shit out of the way. But then yeah, it worked, man. He's a dude. He's a real man. He came back. Did you see she put him in the freezer in the end?
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I don't know why they build them with blood and guts and stuff. And like hoses. I thought it was funny. I said, he's a robot. Make him a robot. Why do you give him blood and guts?
He's a robot that runs on that fluid. That fluid is what keeps him alive.
But he doesn't have like processors in his leg, right?
I have no idea.
All the processors I imagine would be in the chest or the head.
I'd imagine that the movie just this is the logic for how synthetics work, and this is the how they made robots or like artificial people.
That's fair.
and
If
this
they were
is-
going for an idea, also it depends on like the lore of the universe, right? Whoever the fuck made them may have been going for this sort of pseudo bio shit, right?
Yeah.
They may not be making robots. They may have been making artificial beings, right?
Right.
And part of that is replicating what we have: blood, circulatory, thought process, whatever.
I was thinking more along the lines of like it's this is the how technology developed. Like that's the best way they can make an android or a synthetic. They don't have just pure mechanical parts.
Right. That makes sense, right? Yeah, that could be something.
Yeah, because
Okay.
if you go into a computer and you cut it in half and do all this stuff, like it's not gonna work properly. Like, yeah, it's a computer, it's not real, but it's like you can't do that. um,
Right.
Same thing with a keyboard. You cut a keyboard in half, it's not gonna work properly.
Right.
uh,
Now that makes sense. I guess I was thinking they would keep all the. No, he did survive though.
yeah, he's still alive. Like even the first one was still alive after they knocked his head off. They just had to
Right.
reconnect some wires to get his face working again.
Right. Because
Uh,
that's what I was worried about. I was like, oh, they chopped him in half. He's gonna die. Why would you make robots so shitty? Make them
or
not die.
it could be a failsafe in case one of them does malfunction.
That's true. Yeah. To be able to chop him in half and he actually dies.
So they don't have no Terminator situations.
Right. Make them a little bit more weak.
Yeah.
To like punctures and stuff. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Um, dude, when fucking Newt at Ripley, why do they tell little kids there are no such thing as monsters?
Mhm.
Holy dude. Woo! That's why I say she didn't have many lines, but every single line was a fucking showstopper. I felt like just good
Right.
God, man, her character was good. And then Ripley's response, because it was, she was more like, I guess, open at that point, right? And she's like,
Yeah.
because normally there's not, or normally,
Right.
and I was like, damn it, it's the truth too, because she's not gonna lie to the kid, like, oh, yeah. Speaking at the intro of the Queen. Well, it wasn't a queen, but they didn't. It was an intro, I guess. But I was thinking the same thing, because like they said something about like eggs, and I was like, they said something about then who's laying the eggs, and I said I was thinking the same shit. I said the ones that were on the plane, they can't make the eggs. Not that I know of. I don't know the biology, but they're skinny, right? They're too tiny to make an egg like that. I was like, I said, don't tell me there's a fucking queen. That was my first response. I said, don't tell me there's a fucking queen, dude. I can't handle this. That shit. Oh, the big reveal right after that when that stupid fucker finally came clean. I don't know what they said to him, but he said, well, I mean, those are worth millions to the bioweapons division. It was over. I said, I fucking knew it! You son of a bitch!
They swerve you with the android in the beginning. Yes, the android is gonna be the one to betray them, like last time.
Dude,
Nah.
holy, I can't. That shit was good. It's fucking good. Also, one thing here, it's a big note. This is like a big side tangent. Why is it? I don't know if it has to be this way, but looking at Ripley, if you replaced her with like a real like bad bitch, like Ava Mendes, Jessica Alba, Pamela Anderson, pick your favorite, right? Whatever someone's definition of like the hottest bitch in Hollywood would have been. Do you think it would have been as good?
Yeah, if the acting was there.
See, I guess, and that's what I was thinking. I wanted to think that, but then I didn't believe it. I said Ripley has strong facial features. She's got the short hair. She's got the attitude. It almost looks correct. Like if I saw like Jessica Alba's pretty ass in there trying to do that, it wouldn't work. There's just no way. I wouldn't take her seriously. And I have to wonder mentally, why is that, right? If you're insanely pretty, why is it less likely? Not can't. Why is it less likely that you'll be looked at in the same authoritative way that like Ripley would be with her features? Because Ripley's still pretty, but she has very strong jawline and short hair. And I think
It's the same. Maybe it's the same reason we don't take like derpy-looking guys as seriously, right?
Whoa! Did we mention it with? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say Scott Pilgrim. Whenever it was fucking forgot his name, Michael Cera. He's the main character. I'm like, I can't buy him punching, like getting in these fights with these people. But the way he acts it is like he's getting his ass whipped most of the time. But
right.
That's beside the point. But
I was
that's
thinking
kind of
about Rhodes though.
We
already
we're talking about
mentioned-
Rhodes. He has a really round head. He doesn't have the square.
Right.
Jaw,
We already mentioned
but,
Rhodes in this same movie, and I was like, it's so on
Right.
topic.
Yes.
Maybe that's it. Maybe there is something mentally about the way someone looks and how we perceive them. And
Yeah.
it's a stereotype, right? It's a stereotype, but it's sort of...
I was about to say, because Sarah Connor is extremely pretty, but she does have that jawline. and she does
Right.
have the muscles, and she looks like she fucking does. She has the physique.
That's what I mean,
Uh,
right?
it,
That's what I think. Because yeah, Ripley's pretty, but she's got these very strong features.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, if she had like a little tiny more circular head, soft features, maybe like a higher pitched voice, right?
right.
I don't think it would work as good. I really don't. And I think that's
Mhm.
not fair, I guess, but that's life, right?
More women have the softer features than there is men um with softer features, right? So it's
Right.
easier to just throw a man into an action movie. Um,
Think
Whereas
also
women,
about
you
we were
have to
talking about
find
oh,
that particular woman that has those features, that looks strong and capable, but isn't too fucking just like on the nose.
mm-hmm. Because I think even about there's even a different type of those features. Because look at Angelina Jolie in Wanted.
Mm.
She couldn't she pulled off a bad bitch, very strong, very mysterious. She couldn't pull off Ripley in these movies, I don't think, with those features. And her voice and the way that I think maybe it's only because I've only seen her in certain roles, right? That could be a
Mm-hmm.
bias. But I think it would be she wouldn't convey it as much physically. Even though she conveys a strong woman like she did Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah.
But Tomb Raider is silent, right? Tomb
Mm-hmm.
Raider's this like she's a bad bitch, but she's more silent, more mysterious, I think. And I
Yeah.
think her features look like that. Somehow Angelina Jolie's features look strong and silent and a little bit different. So when Ripley does her commanding shit, I couldn't see like Angelina Jolie doing commanding shit like that. Um,
I can only really see her as a solo person. I couldn't see her being a leader, and but who knows?
it's possible, right? I don't know for sure. I mean, most of her stuff is she does duos, right? Mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's similar kind of solo, right? 'Cause she was kind of solo, like in that movie. Even she was part of the team, but she was still like she was never seen doing a lot of stuff with other people, right?
Right.
Um, Now that makes sense. Like, yeah, I couldn't see her in a team of group. Like, we got 5 people. We're gonna run in and do this mission. I don't, I don't see that happening. I think she really shines as a singular thing, getting a
Right.
lot of the attention and stuff. um, but yeah, I was thinking. One thing that reminded me of. Think about Rugrats, right? Fucking Phil and Lil's mom.
Right.
Dude, I love her. We were just talking about her like last week. I said she's fucking awesome. That's Big Mama right there. Um, Imagine Dill Pickles. What if Tommy? Imagine Tommy's mom was doing the same thing she did
Right.
with the same voice and the same everything. It wouldn't work.
Right.
If I saw Tommy's mom come up and say, "Well, kids, come here, you little rascals," and pick them up like that, I'd be like, "What is she doing? It looks weird."
Right.
But when Big Mama shows up, "Come here, you little shit," and grabs those kids, like it's so
Mm.
perfect. It somehow it
Right.
fits perfectly, and I don't know if that's how it has to be. I don't believe anything has to be one way, but I think humanistically, and over the past what, fucking how long have humans been here? 100,000? I don't know, not that long. It's been not that long. Maybe 555,000. I don't know. We've been here for a while, but I think these things have almost
At
existed.
least 20,000 years.
20,000. Okay, I didn't know. Yeah, my ranges are so 20,000 years, right? After all that time, I have to imagine those things are still the same, and it's because of necessity, or how do you say that? Like to put it in an example, I guess with Phil and Lil's mom, Tommy's
We
mom.
appeared 2 point. Oh, yeah, I'm wrong. 2 million years ago.
2 million?
Between two. Uh, Hold on.
I thought
The
like
earliest
millions was where
the
like
earliest hominins are thought to have appeared as early as 7 million BCE. So that's
I thought that
seven
was
million.
dinosaur times. Fuck.
No, that's like 30, 40 million.
Oh shit. I mean, hey, I'm not a historian, so listen. We didn't have movies back then, so it's okay. I'm not.
I said, but civilization didn't come around till about 40,000 years ago. 50,000 years ago, human cultures produced cave paintings, adornment. There you go. Around 50,000 years ago, we started making cave paintings and stuff like that. 25. Where'd it go? I know, like, what was it? Africa or not? Yeah, in Africa, Egypt is like 40,000 years old.
Okay. Um, but when I think about it,
10,000
you couldn't
BC.
do
Yeah.
those things, right? Like
Yeah.
you couldn't physically, like little Tommy's mom could not physically yoke up Phil and Lil with one in each arm. She just wouldn't
Mhm.
have the strength. She's not big and strong enough, I don't think. So given that, she has to interact in a different way. She physically can't do that, so she has to pick them up differently. That doesn't change maybe her mentality. I think that, she should be able to have the same mentality, but I think mentality oftentimes is based on ability, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I have a strong mentality because I'm 6'3" and 250 pounds of twisted steel, too mean to be fucked with. So then I react that way because I can, right? I see my little nephews or something on chat or whoever the fuck we are talking to, comment people, viewers. That's not how big I am. But if you want to, hey, I'll take the legacy.
He's about 4'2".
Hey, that's 4'8". Okay, thank you. I'm at 110 pounds. They might believe that shit too. Let's see. Yeah, guess my shit. Put it in a comment. How tall and how much do you think I weigh? But yeah, no, I think that overall, if I was that guy and I went to go see my little brothers or nephews and was like wrestling with them or yoking them up or something, it would be because I can, right? And it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, what's up, dude? And like pick them up off the ground or something. It's like, yeah, I can express myself in that way because I physically have the ability to do so. But if I was, 5 foot, 110 pounds, even if I was excited to see you, I can't express myself in that way, and trying to could lead to injury. So it's better that I'm like, oh, what's up, dude? High five, right? The excitement is still there, but physically I have to express it differently. Same thing for, like, anger, right? That's why I think, usually you see all these big guys are so intimidating or have anger issues or ready to fight or whatever. It's like because mentally when they were children, when something happens to them, they can respond with violence because it works, because they're bigger and stronger. Versus if you're weaker, you have to respond with timidness and retreat because you'll get hurt. And I think overall that's why certain family dynamics, right? How does your family train you? If your family is predisposed to be weak, they'll train you to be weak as well. That's why you got some big people, some huge, 6'2" big guys.
That doesn't explain the little man syndrome, but
that doesn't
explain the.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
That's just anger, I guess, right? Just like unbridled rage and the unwillingness to accept it.
Right.
Also, confidence works, so they may have developed that early on as well. So, like, they got made fun of when they were younger about being little or tiny or felt insecure. So they went over the top, right? They said, I'll fucking kill you! I'll fucking kill you! And, like, yoked somebody up. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, shit, this guy's crazy. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. So maybe they learned at an early age, the bigger you act, the more respect you get, right?
Right.
So anyway, short story long, there's a lot of learned behaviors, and I think physically you learn different behaviors because you have different avenues to take because of your physical whatever, right?
Your physicality, yeah.
Yeah, it's why fat people are usually funny. They got to make friends somehow, and it's not because they're hot. And that's not making fun of anybody, but the shit, that's how it works. How I made friends, And I was fat for a little bit, but even when I was skinny, I didn't know how to be hot. I wasn't tall. I was kind of ugly, so it's like I make friends through jokes, and it works. So that's how you do it. So I think we all evolve in a certain way that makes sense. So I have to wonder if you're a strong-featured woman like Ripley, then why do you grow in that way? Probably because you grew in a situation where people made fun of you, right? Maybe it's like, oh yeah, you're a man, because she has a strong jaw and short hair. It's like, oh yeah, you're just butch or this or whatever, and like people make fun of her. So it's
she didn't have short hair in the first one.
Oh, that's true. So I don't know. Maybe that's not that case.
Her hair gets shorter throughout the 3 movies. You should see what she looks like in the 3rd movie.
Got you. But I can see things like that where if you're not as pretty, you're not as soft-featured, you're not as like high-pitched voiced, you're not as feminine, we'll call it. If you're not doing that, then what is your other options, right? Because now you're not gonna get the same avenues for social growth. Like you're not gonna be able to get, what do you call it? You're not gonna make friends because you're pretty. So and you're not gonna have men want you because you're pretty. You're not if you're tall, right? Tall women, they have the same issues. So what is your avenue? I think it's to lean into it, right? Right. It's like, well, fuck it. I'm already tall. I've already got this shit going for me. Let's just go embrace it and let's be myself. And yourself is sort of an extension of the avenues you have available to you while growing up, while developing a personality. And I have to imagine also some of it plays in on what you're told, right? A lot of people, if you're told something enough, they believe it. That's why people getting bullied in their younger years sometimes become the same thing. Because it was like, you're told this enough times, it might as well be true. So it's like, now I'm whatever the case may be, whatever you got made fun of for. Which is, I think, unfortunate. I see some of that, and I'm always disappointed. It's like, damn, just because you have certain things doesn't mean you have to be that way. but that's I think why we get pushed into those kind of ways. So
Yeah.
short story long, I think that's physically and mentally and emotionally and growthily or all the different Lees that I can think of right now as to
Rock Lee.
why she would look like that and why I think her image in these movies is perfect because it's easier to identify with that sort of person.
Right.
But okay, good stuff. This is why you guys come here. This is why all the fans, dude, they're thinking like, oh shit, I never thought of it, or they're thinking, yeah, fuck you, buddy, you're an asshole. You don't even know what you're talking about. Who do you think you are? Either way, engagement is good, man.
Engagement is good.
That's why you guys come here to hear this crazy shit. So what's next?
Uh,
Let's
we talked
see.
about her image. We talked about each of the characters, their relationships with one another. Talked about the added lore with the queen.
What you're gonna get to? Yeah, I gotta get more on that.
Oh, it was just that. You already talked
Oh,
about it.
you cut the power. They said they cut the power.
Oh, yes,
said
they're intelligent. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Cause that shit, she said, what do you mean they cut the power? I said, yeah, what do you mean they cut the power? That shit stressed me out so much, George. Cause then I'm like, are they fucking smart? If they're smart, then it's over. It's all over, dude. Then you see them crawling through the vents so they can get past all the barricades they put up. I said, oh my god, they're fucking smart. And this plays a really big deal into the end of the movie when she meets the queen. Because when she meets the queen, there's that whole bit where it looks like she's gonna die, right? Like they're gonna come kill her, but then she holds up the flamethrower. She holds the flamethrower, looks at the queen, and I'm like, oh shit. She's smart. She knows that if she tries to fuck with her, she's gonna burn all her kids and maybe even her. Cause she called off the goons.
Yeah.
So when she called off the goons, I said, wait, are they gonna have a moment? Or is she gonna let her go? As long as she lets her go, she lets her go type thing? And I think there was something going on there. And I was like, yo, this is good. This is real good. And then I think it fell apart. Here, let me see. Blah, blah, blah. Shoot, she was in the grate. Oh, he says when he said we can find her with this. And he pulls out the locator. Ripley did that, like, in the confines of her room. How would he know about that unless she told him? And easy enough, she told him off screen. I don't even care. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
But I did notice that. I was like, damn. Dude, she did the double guns?
Yeah.
That shit. I love it. I fucking love it. Because those are the kind of things that if you look at movies and shit, all these well-trained people and all these other people and all this other shit, they're not going to think like that. She didn't even know how to shoot a gun before today. So when she's thinking, how do I get firepower? That bitch said, fuck it, tape them together. Genius.
Genius.
Fucking genius. Because those are the dumbass ideas that people don't think about who are involved in a certain situation. I don't think you're going to find like a regular military trained guy who's going to be like, well, just not take them things together. At least not who was left on their crew.
Right.
They're going to say, well, we have this gun, put this on your backpack, we have a strap for this gun, there's a gun case. They would do it all by the book. She don't know any better. She said, fucking strap that shit together and give me some firepower, baby. I love regular people in movies who end up coming up with really cool ideas to solve a situation that other people wouldn't think of. Or jank-ass ideas that happen to work out. That shit's really good versus like super intelligent people who just solve the day by being smart and knowing the perfect answer. No. I love some dumb shit that works out. So that shit was cool. Time limit. Oh, it's losing points for this one. It's losing points for this one. I'm sorry. I have it here in the notes too. I said, uh-oh, a time limit? That's never been done in the history of movies. Can this be the only one? And no, spoilers. It's not. No one has ever done a fucking time limit good. It was good though, dude. Hold on, let me see here, because they almost got me. We'll get there. But because we're gonna wrap this up eventually, but I'm gonna go through the notes because the one thing that I thought was really cool, and this is again, I think it's a systemic issue of like having, or not issue, but like of having hand props in regular sets. When she was going into that set to go find the girl, there was a little bit of sticky on her boots. Or when no, there was sticky on the ground or something. Whenever she put the flare on the ground, there was a little bit of sticky there, and I said, I don't know if that was planned to show it or it was just a part of the set that they made, but that makes it that much more engaging. It makes it that much more real that you see a little bit of sticky that may have just been left over. It was just, I'll put it in there, who cares? It's not a part of the scene. It was part of building the set. These are the kind of things that motherfuckers forget about with CGI. So if this can't be forgotten. It's just a part of the living, breathing set. It's like if you have mud. If you have mud in the scene, you don't have to worry to edit the mud in. Them fuckers are dirty.
Right.
That's just little details like that that make practical effects so much better sometimes, because that really adds to like the, oh shit, there's the little sticky just... I was already sucking this movie's dick, so I'm making this a bigger deal than it was. But these are the tiny details that just compound and compound. The same way that by the end of the movie, I'll fucking hate a movie because of small thing here, small thing here, small thing here. Is the same reason I'm going to boost up small thing, small thing, small thing, because all of them come together to make this huge, great, good thing.
Right.
So that deserves something.
Oh, shit.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, the fucking queen. I said, it's the fucking queen! I said, burn that bitch in the face! What are you doing, Ripley? But yes, but that scene was really cool, and then it was like, oh, you get to leave otherwise? But she took it back, I think. What happened? When Ripley tried to leave, didn't they try to attack her when she was leaving, I think?
Yeah.
So they backed out on the deal, right? Because I think Ripley was... Cause something fucked up. I said, they got a deal. Ripley, you can leave. And then as she was leaving, she got fucked up. And I was like, oh. I said, maybe it was just a setup or something. I don't know. Some of the aliens attacked. Not important. But it's, you know what's funny? I said, that took at least 10 minutes, ... And then it was started, I think they started at 14-minute countdown.
Yeah.
And dude, as I said, that take about 10 minutes. They said 4 minutes left until the explosion. Oh! I said, no. Is this going to be the only one to ever do it? And then, no, it didn't. Because it's
anime time. Anime has anime time where it takes like, oh, there's 5 minutes left. 20 episodes later.
Right, dude. No, I was just so sad. They hyped me up to do it. And it wasn't like it was so off. The rest of the movie probably took 8 minutes. But they said it was supposed to take 4. It's not like it was a dramatic problem the way that like fucking Star Wars 7 did.
Yeah.
Where they land and they're like 16 miles crash landed away from the base. You have 1 hour. Well, it's over. Movie's over, because they're not going to fucking hot-foot it all the way to that base off the side of a cliff in an hour. So it was close, but I was still disappointed. I was like, that would have put it greatest movie of all time. If they had a fucking all this good shit, and then they had a fucking timer sequence that was accurate. Oh, baby. Nah, fucking, dude, I said, she knows how to use an elevator? That crazy bitch, when the fucking, like, the xenomorph was looking.
Yo, I love that scene in the elevator when the dude fucking pressed the button and the door's so closed, so they press it again.
Right?
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Of course.
Dude, characters, man. I love the character working is so good. And then Bishop, dude. George, my fucking heart. When they show back up and he's gone. George, it was... That's what I tell you, when I talked about it, when this fucking video started, I talked about the roller coaster that stupid fucker put me on. Oh my... No, that wasn't him. That was the other guy. But shit, same thing. She said, fuck you, Bishop! I said, yeah, fuck him, dude. I hate this movie. But then that fucker came back.
Yeah. He shows back up, saves him.
I couldn't take it. He came back. I said, oh, he's back. And
he felt like he needed to explain himself, too, afterwards.
Yeah.
Said, I was getting unstable, so...
Right. Again, the character building. He didn't have to say that. She didn't even ask him, right?
Right.
I don't even think she asked him.
If she asked him off screen. But, yeah, no.
That's fucking wild. So she never even asked, but he knew what it looked like.
Right. He knew what it looked like, and he knows that she already has a problem with synthetics.
Yep.
Or artificial humans.
So fucking good, dude. So good. It's just crazy. It's honestly, and this is the kind of thing. It's almost like this really happened with real people.
Right.
That's just how I can say that, because obviously it didn't, but every single line, whether it was handcrafted or just fell into place, feels like it was handcrafted. Every single detail in this movie is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then fucking Bishop gets hurt. I was devastated. I was like, nah, Bishop, not after he learned and all this stuff and he grew on me.
He got stabbed through the chest and cut in half.
Fucking can't, dude.
Yo, when the girl was falling, whenever the fucking when Ripley opened up the fucking thing, the hole in the fucking spaceship,
Yeah,
so
the airlock.
the queen went flying out. Yeah, the airlock. The girl goes fucking falling out, and he grabs her. He's cut in half.
Right. Not just that, but that also shows she would have done anything. She went back and put everyone's life at risk to save Newt, and didn't give a fuck. She was gonna die for that, and then literally was going to kill Newt in that moment to get rid of the alien.
Right.
She didn't know any better, but she slammed that shit, and if he didn't catch her, she was gonna get sucked out of the airlock before the alien even let go.
Yeah.
So she almost killed her, and that's just fucking wild to think about.
How angry she hates that those aliens.
Right. She didn't even think twice, dude. She just like fucking let it go. Now I'm not a scientist here. I don't think she would have been able to hold on.
Oh no, definitely. I have no clue how that works, but yeah, I don't
the
think
pressure differential I've heard is fucking crazy.
Right.
Because it's literally sucking vacuum from like nothing to something. It's like one of the most powerful forces, has to be. So her just holding on, I liked more when she was actually strapped to something.
Well, yeah, space has nothing, and the inside has
right.
something.
So it's,
like
it's
the air
immediately
is
trying
out.
to equalize it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty big, right? I don't know how much atmosphere they have in the ship, but whatever it is, it's trying to equalize within 1 to 2 seconds instantly, but it takes place over the course of a couple seconds.
Yeah.
So that pull must have been pretty strong. Not a big deal. It's super exciting for a movie. That's not necessary. I wouldn't even take away points for that, but I did notice that, and I don't know if there's a way to do that a little better. Maybe she's strapped in somehow. She has a little clamp. I don't know. Give her a little clamp.
The best way to do it is to actually just suck out the alien. Don't put the tension, but you sacrifice tension for realism.
Right.
Yeah. Don't even have the alien grab onto her, because if the alien grabs onto her, that means that there has to be she has to grab onto something. The robot has to grab onto something. The girl has to grab onto something. And are they really stronger than that alien? That alien could probably hold on much longer than all of them.
Right.
So, yeah.
Still fine.
Yeah.
But
Still
yeah,
good.
I did notice that. What do you call it? Dude, the fucking mech fight though. Holy.
Yeah.
I know it's because they didn't have maybe the special effects or whatever, and maybe it was because it was a mech suit. I fucking couldn't stand it. Not literally, but tension-wise. Because that slow-ass fucking suit. I'm like, just kill it! Move! The
I love that she slaps it
suit.
with the like. I know it doesn't have an open palm, but it looks like she's slapping it. So I was making jokes about it being like a ghetto baby mama fight.
Yo,
because she literally slaps her with the fucking forklift like hands.
Right. Nah, that shit was funny. But yeah, it was tension after that because I'm like, just move, just kill her. I'm like, it's a fucking stupid ass loader. They go, right. You're not gonna kill her with that. God damn it, dude.
Shit, but one on her upper body, one on her lower body, and pull her apart.
Ooh, that'd have been good.
Right.
But
then they would have got acid everywhere. The ship would have.
Oh shit! I didn't think about that.
There would have been a bunch of holes.
Oh fuck! They would have died.
Yeah.
I never thought about. That's crazy. Even in the first one, it had to be airlock or they would have died.
Right.
Fuck! I never knew how thematic and appropriate that was. Crazy, because you don't know until that would have happened, and somebody would have said, "If he shot her, where's the acid?"
Right.
You don't give things credit when they do it right, but it's easy to pick out what they did wrong when they mess it up. So no, that deserves extra credit for the fact that both of those movies they fixed her, they killed her.
That's the only way.
Yeah, that's the only way, dude.
It's the only way to kill it. While they're on a spaceship, yeah, no. If they're on a planet, they can rip her in half. But if they're on a spaceship, they need to fucking push her out an airlock.
Right. And then we get to the ending, and it just, I don't even know if that was like, I don't know how to deal with that. It just ends.
That's how the first one ends.
I know, but it fucked me up. I think this one was worse. Because the first one, I think it was like, oh, you'll be there in 2 weeks or something. It felt like it left me with
She
a
didn't
sense
know.
of there's a future.
She didn't know when she was gonna be there.
I thought they mentioned it.
No, this one they mentioned how long they'll be there.
No, and then the end of the first one, it was like, there's something we can drift here. It's 3 weeks away.
I guess she overshot whatever the fuck it was. I don't know.
Right,
Because it ended up being 57 years, right?
right. So, but at least I felt like they had a future left.
Right.
Dude, the end of this movie left me fucking empty. I said, wait, what's gonna happen? Are they all gonna die? Like, just fucked, man. Like, and especially given how this one started, they could be out there for 200 years. I don't know. Like, it left it so melancholy, dude. Like, ugh. And that made it better, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was just good, man. Fuck, dude. I stand by that. This has to be in the running for top 5 movies of all time.
Yeah. So what happened where she was in high pursuit for 57 years? Did she not pay her mortgage?
Probably not. No, I imagine everything she had. They probably thought she was dead, right? She was confirmed
Probably,
deceased.
yeah. The whole crew was gone.
Yeah. They probably just confirmed the crew deceased like shortly after.
Right. Right. Yeah. So looking forward to the third one, right? Alien 3.
No. No, dude, I can't. Oh my god, dude. The fact that when I said about the first one, it's all downhill from here and making jokes, I believed that. And then I get the greatest movie of all time, and I'm like, oh, now it can't, dude. It can't. Even if it's not bad, it can never be better than this. There's no way. There's nothing you could do.
This one I was reading while we were talking about the special edition stuff for the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the special edition didn't come out till 2003. But people from the fans' perspective, the special edition is better. Not much better, but better.
Really?
Yeah.
I may have to give it a look one day then.
So we're gonna watch the one that's on Hulu, which is probably the regular version. But it's still, I think it's still good. So,
I mean, if it's, I'll pay for. So you said it's not much better. I think it's worth it. I'll I'll probably get them for on Amazon then. I'll rent it. You can use it.
Where'd it go? I'm fine with it. It doesn't matter. I'll do it.
Because I think it's just better for what is it, for artistic, for the culture,
Right, for the culture.
For the culture, we'll do it.
All right. Shit, where'd it go? I had it a second ago. This is really funny. The 3 times the terror, 3 times that stuff we always make fun of. What's it called?
Right.
4 times the excitement.
Get down again. Oh no. Man, fuck this movie. I'm already.
Yep.
4
3 times the suspense, 3 times the danger, 3 times the terror.
God,
Alien 3.
No.
Let's go.
No, dude. Why'd you even tell me that? Because now I have an image of like what they're trying to do. Don't do it.
Actually, I didn't know that the first one and the second one were directed by different people.
Was it? So James Cameron didn't do the first one?
No, it was Ridley Scott. Because when you mentioned James Cameron, I said James Cameron didn't do this movie, did he? And I was like, oh, he did. And I was like, I could have swore it was Ridley Scott. And I was like, yeah, Ridley Scott did the first one.
Isn't it interesting to think about though, how long some of these big name fuckers have been doing this shit?
Right.
Because I just never knew, right? And it's my fault, but even some actors, right? I would see certain actors in like early 2000s, and I'd be like, oh, they're so good, and they're all this, and it's like they have this image and this greatness about them. And then you find out they've been acting since mid-'80s.
Yeah.
It's like, no fucking way that they've been refining this skill over the course of like 25, 30 years,
Yeah,
It's
2 of the original writers for the first movie came back to do the third movie. And the second one didn't even have any of the original writers or director.
Wow.
Yeah. And they built on top of it and actually like expanded it, and it wasn't bad.
No, it was perfect. Like,
right.
This is literally the definition of what all sequels should be, right?
Right.
The first one should be great, the second one should be better. Always. That's like just a standalone thing because of the things that we talked about. Because of the fact that you have existing characters, you don't have to waste screen time on introducing them. You don't have to waste screen time in their motivations. You don't have to waste screen time in their personality. You can get right into the juicy meat and potatoes of the story and give us some really good stuff and play on our expectations of who they were from the first movie into the second. Like, it's designed to be better. It's almost easier, I think, to write a sequel than a first one. So I just don't get. It depends. Let me take that back. It really depends on the world.
You have to make a strong world, and you kind of have to leave it a little open. Not really, like it's closed. Oh yeah, the alien's gone, but like we know that there's more alien eggs. We know all this
Right.
stuff. So,
A lot of them don't do that. They've literally wrapped that shit up in a nice bow and sealed it with some fucking welding. Like,
and they go, "This movie did really well. Let's write a sequel."
right. We can't. It's over. There's nothing left to talk about. It's why it's unfortunate too. Is like, I don't know. I think sometimes like that, just do something similar but different.
Right.
Rewrite it even. I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe
so we're
I'm
gonna
being,
give it its score. You gave the first one a 9.
I think so. Yeah. I'll give
9
this one a
point.
9.8. No, it's getting a 10.
Did you give it a 10? I think you gave the first one a 10 actually, and I think I
Maybe.
gave it a. I think I gave the first one a 9.2, 9.3. I can't remember.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna
yeah,
give
that's
this
right.
one.
'Cause mine was
This
higher
one
than
gets a
yours.
solid 9.5.
Yeah, I might have to give it another. I mean, it's.
You know what's up there? You know what's up there with that? The Dark Knight.
Oh God,
Ah.
every time. I think it's a 10. Yeah, I may have to
It
give this
stands
movie a
there.
10. I want to
It
give it like a
stands
10.5, 11. Like,
It
It's-
stands up there with the greatest movie of all time.
yeah, sure. This guy gets. Let's not forget the extra 2.5 points it got for being Batman. I'm playing. It only got a point.
It gets a point.
It would be an 8.5.
Oh my hand.
For you, it would be an 8.5 for you.
Yeah.
So,
but it has Batman in it.
right, so it gives it a 9.5. But
It'd be an
anyway.
8, but it has Batman and Joker. Joker gives it a 0.5.
That's funny. Yeah, it's just phenomenal, dude. That's why rating systems are fucked. Rating systems are so hard to keep up with.
Right.
Because they're arbitrary as fuck, honestly.
They're based on feeling. Sometimes
Right.
you feel differently all the time. So.
Right, and that's why I'll go back and change my ratings. I might even rewatch
Like
our
shit,
own
even
videos.
like picking favorite characters. Like I was talking with Jameson, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I was like, if I have to pick, it's Robin, Zoro, then Chopper. Then like 2 months later, I was like, it's Chopper over Zoro. What happened in the manga? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing changed. It's just me.
Right. Well, and it's because innately you open yourself up to comparison. Right? When you give something, oh, this is a 9.5, one of the best movies I've ever seen, and it only did like one tiny thing wrong. It's almost a perfect
Right.
movie. Then you see another movie that's almost a perfect movie and did everything right, or even did more things right, but you like it a little bit less somehow, or whatever. And it's like,
Right.
I'd give that
There's
a
something
9.5.
in the lore that this one has more lore, has lore I like more. Just intangibles. Like there's nothing like
Right.
just yeah. I don't know how to explain this, but like this guy created a fantasy setting. Well, it's a fantasy setting. I like that more. Well, this movie's a lot better. I don't care. This has a fantasy setting in it.
Right. Because there's certain things that will engage certain people more.
Exactly.
And it's just, yeah, and that's why there doesn't need to be this better than, less than too. So if I gave this like, I don't know, a 9.5 as well, or a 9 point whatever, and then someone sees that, and if it happened to be more or less than the first Alien, I think this one is better. I do think this is a better movie. Fucking greatest movie of all time, damn near top 5.
You're gonna have to give this one an 11. I think you gave the first one a 10.
You see what I mean? Because like I gave the first one a 10 because I never thought there could be something better, right? Or at least I hadn't seen anything in the history of movies that really came close to just what this film did.
Right.
Then this one does it better. So now that means I have to change my rating because what I thought was the peak is no longer the peak. What I thought was like peak horror and peak suspense is no longer there. Now there's something better. And it's like, I may even go watch something else, right? I may go watch some other movie and it's like, that shit's even better than Alien. So then it's like, oh, fuck.
Alien 3.
I have to go retrospectively move Alien down to 9.2 because I found better, right?
It's gonna be Alien 3.
Stop. They already threw it in the trash. As soon as you have this methodology of we're gonna one up, you've already threw it in the trash. Because there is no one up. There's writing a good story or writing a bad story. That's it. There's no one up. There's no, oh, remember this scary scene? I'm gonna make a scene so scary you shit your pants. Like, that doesn't make the movie better. That's not how that works. It's not a linear progression of
Three
better.
times the suspense, Trey.
It's not a linear progression. It doesn't just get better. What are you gonna do? Like, oh, there's threats all over the place. Just because there's threats all over the place, that makes more. That makes more tension. Doesn't make the movie better. Like, more is not better. Jesus.
3 times the suspense, 3 times the danger, 3 times the terror.
Stop, dude. I can't. We're gonna see. I'm gonna even try and rate the movie under those pretenses as well.
Ooh.
If they want to claim that, I'm gonna hold them to that. Then I'm gonna hold them to that because suspense comes from
The other alien movie have that? Aliens.
Did it have like shitty marketing like that?
It might have.
I hope not. Because you don't do that. That's just stupid. Just write a good movie.
It works. 2 times the excitement. Get down!
Get down again!
No, the cover is just Ripley holding the cover to the VHS is just Ripley holding the little girl, and it says this time it's war.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're soldiers.
That's kind of cool. I like that one. It never lost the atmosphere though.
No, I love Alien. The original Alien fucking cover is literally just an egg.
That's spooky.
An egg cracking open and it's green.
Yeah, that's spooky because you don't know what that means.
It says Alien. Oh, it has a little tagline underneath it. What the hell does that say? Motherfucker. In space, no one can hear you scream? I can't tell.
Whoa.
I got a really bad image.
That's interesting. That's pretty good. That's definitely kind of spooky.
Yeah. Alien. Are you serious? This image is small too? Oh my god. Yep, no one can hear you scream.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool. It looks like a it's a I don't know what that is, but it looks like movie theater seats kind of. That's actually pretty neat.
Retroactively, I'm bringing Alien down to a 9. No, I have to. Because of the fact that all these characters, as much as I love the characters in the first one, these ones blew them out of the water. Not because they were any more complex or more human, but their lines.
Mm-hmm.
The writing in this one was just so much fucking over-the-top greatness. Was that really a full point lower, though? Nah. 9.3. I think I'll give the first Alien a 9.3 and give this one a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it doesn't discredit the fact that the writing in the first one and the characters was good. We went on a whole tangent about how great their personality was and how they were well written. Or
right.
well, they weren't well written, they were well personified.
Right.
But that was off the back of how shitty every other horror movie's characters are. But looking at this one, I don't know. No, because I was less scared for the individual people. Right? Like,
yeah.
The Marines and stuff, and like I didn't have a lot of fear when one of them died, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was a bit more scared in the first one when somebody would go off alone.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt that as much in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the scene where they're trapped, the one buff guy and then the one chick who froze up. Yeah. When those two are trapped, that shit is like, it means a lot, right? That scene is a lot for their characters and their stuff. Yeah, they're almost equal. No, this one's got to be better. I have to say it. This one's it's got to be better, but it's because we got so much more.
The first one's a 9.8 for you, maybe.
I don't know because I'm trying to figure out how do you quantify this, right? Because the first one,
it's your list.
Well, I know, but like when I think about thinking about this one compared to that one. We got... How long did we talk about that movie? We were 30 minutes and done?
Yeah.
30 minutes and done. How shallow does that mean that movie was? And it's not taken away from it. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not. It still stands as one of the best.
The movie was good. It was solid. It was great, but
Right.
it didn't make you think.
It was shallow, right? That's what I mean. It was pure.
But you already had a disposition to be like, the next movie cannot top that, and then it did. So you had all these ideas of like how it topped that movie. You had something to compare it to because
right.
the other one,
And that's what I mean, because it's just the proof is in the pudding, right? There's no way it's been 2.5 hours. Now we probably had a few tangents, but we'll say 2 hours then.
We had two relatively small tangents.
So 2 hours? That means we spent 2 hours on this movie. We were scraping 30 minutes with the first one. Because it just wasn't that complex. It wasn't that deep. We didn't get these huge character arcs that were well fleshed out with all these different lines and all this subtlety.
small character. We had that character arc with the one guy who was like selfish and wanted his pay. It was a really small character arc.
Oh yeah.
And that's about it. We learned about we kind of like knew who the characters were based on their personalities, but they didn't have character arcs. Whereas this one, it seemed like they all have character arcs. Like they presented each character in a certain way, and then they did something to make you think they're a lot deeper.
Right. That's what you just said on the nose, because I was like, man, why does every movie have to have dynamic characters? I said, no, they don't. Because what you just said puts it more so on the nose. It's not a character arc in the sense they change. We never knew them to begin with.
Right.
And that's what makes it interesting. I think in the first one we kind of they really front-loaded a lot of who they were, which is great, because then the whole movie, their motivations were clear. Their personalities were clear. We understood what actions they would normally take.
Mm-hmm.
So if they either did or didn't take those actions, we were prepared or unprepared, respectively. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, now we know better as to what this is. Versus this one, we didn't know. We got this, cliche-ass intro, but we didn't really know a lot of them. So as the story progressed, we got to know them, and that makes it more intimate. And then all these little quirks and quicks and little things like that, little voice lines, that expanded them and made us more intimate with all these characters and their personalities. So when something happened to them, it was like, fuck! He wasn't really a bad guy, no! Or, fuck, he really was a bad guy, kill him, please! And those kind of moments, those revelations, it's almost synonymous with, like, human relationships, right?
Yeah.
I think it's why, and you see a lot of this in, like, young relationships, or, like, new relationships, not just young, but new relationships. What do people love doing in new relationships? It's going on dates and asking questions. Well, what do you like? What do you do? You want to go here? Do you like this? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? What's this? What's this? It's this desperate, like, pouring in of information. And it makes those people interesting. Because it's like, I guess it's sort of a knowledge thing. Like, maybe humans just like knowledge, like new things, freshness.
Yeah.
But a lot of those, I think, sometimes they'll fizzle out, too. Because when the person is used up, when you know all their favorite things, you know all about them, you know their quips and quirks, their dreams. Up. I mean, yeah, it sounds disrespectful when I say it that way, but it's kind of a weird way to put it, but it's almost, accurate.
Yeah, I know what you meant, but it's just the way it sounded.
Yeah, it sounds a little disrespectful. But that is what we do,
Honestly,
though, right?
Stuff I don't want no more.
Well, no, think about it, dude. It's just how it works.
Yeah. People, like, they learn more about each other, and then after they've learned everything about the person, they just, there's nothing new and exciting anymore, and the relationship is already kind of stale and old.
Yep.
You don't want to, if there's nothing trying to keep, like, that's keeping you there, a lot of people just abandon that relationship, right?
Yep. Same thing for, like, sex, too. If you're very sex-focused, it's like, oh, shit. Oh, I can't wait to have sex with him. He's got the ripped abs, and he's the hottest guy in town, and everything else, and, like, you're really, like, all after him. And then finally you get him, and then the sex was okay, and he's kind of boring. Then the women dip out. They're like, oh.
Right.
And they're just, the chase is over. You know what I mean? Like, same
right.
thing on the man's side. Men do the same thing. It's like, oh, she's so bad. I can't wait to get it. Then you finally get it. It's like, well, now what? I got it. What do you like, I guess? And it's like, now we got to get to know each other, and then sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't, whatever. But, yeah, a lot of it just fizzles out and dries. And I think that's almost synonymous with what we do with movies. You start a movie, and then who is this guy? What is he like? The first thing that popped into my head was Hitch. You ever seen a movie?
Yeah.
That shit, same thing. It's on the nose, so that's why I picked it as an example. We just don't know anything about this guy in the beginning. He's a douchebag, ladies' man, playboy, philanthropist. What's that joke? Oh, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Yep, that's the one.
He's that guy, right? And he
Hmm.
goes around teaching men to pick up women and everything else, but we don't know him. You may think you know him, but we don't. And the entire movie is spent getting to know him and Kevin James. That's the movie. And then, of course, the women that they're related to, or not related, but like in relationships with.
Hmm.
Um, and as those relationships become more open, as we learn more about them, that's what makes it interesting. When she has the breakdown, she's like, "So you just told him everything? It's just a lie? He just lied to me?" It's like, "So you knew to have him spill mustard on his shirt to make me feel more comfortable?" No, that was all him. So you just told him to dance stupidly, so I felt this, and it's this, and it. No, not me either. I told him to not do that. So now she's learning about him because she thought he was this guy, but then she's also learning about Kevin James, who she thought his character was. Then he's learning about her. It's like every single person was learning about the other one because they all had preconceptions of who they were. And that's the same
Right.
thing for this movie. Oh, he's a scaredy bitch. Then he goes back to save her. Ripley's, super bad, battle hardened bitch. Then she has these soft moments. It's like, wait, what? Um, he's a douchebag commander marine guy. Then he has his moments with the little girl and with Ripley. It's like, wait, what? It's just all these moments. It's like, wait, I never knew. Same thing for lore. It's why lore is so good in movies. It's like, oh, these people come from here? That means
Right.
they're related to those people. Oh, shit. And it's like, that's so fucking cool. It's a revelation almost.
Hmm.
Um, Same thing for world building, right? Planets, history, lore. I look at Subnautica as a video game. Subnautica is one of the most boring games you could ever play in your life. You could argue. It's so fucking engaging because everywhere you go, there's plants to scan. It's like, what the fuck is that? What's down here? What is this? It's just so much information pouring in everywhere you turn, and I think
Engagement is good.
that's almost like what do you call it? Engagement is good. I think that's like human life, isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't that like the story of our entire existence, right? Like kids, you see little kids. They're the
they're
most
curious. They're
like
very curious.
yeah, they're the most alive, right? For whatever alive air quotes. I think kids represent that the most. That's why we miss our childhood. That's why we miss our high school days. They're the times when we're youngest. We are the most alive, air quotes, because we're learning constantly. There's
Right.
always something new. There's always something exciting. There's always something. It's just brand new. Everything is new every day, all the time, constant. And then, so it's exciting. Then eventually, your backyard is too small. You've seen it. So
Right.
the neighborhood's gigantic. Oh, fuck, the neighborhood. I went down 2 blocks. I rode my bike 2 blocks away. It's like, ooh. Then you get a car and the neighborhood sucks. It's too small. I want to go to the town over. Then you go to the town over. Whoa, I went to the town over on my 16th birthday when I got my car or whatever. It's like, whoa. Then it's the state over. Then it's 2 states over. Then it's the East Coast, West Coast, North Coast, whatever. Then it's another country. It's constantly expanding, which is why I think a lot of us burn out and become depressed in our early 30s because we feel like life is over. We've experienced everything. So then we fall back on movies because this is it. It's giving you something new to experience, to explore, to learn, to grow. It revitalizes that
Well,
idea of
yeah.
being alive and experiencing something for the first time, which is why I think good movies do it well, why the characters are so important, because we talked before about you can't have, like, or how do I say, you can have a romance with the same cliches. Boom, boom, boom. Miscommunication, they split up, they get back together in the end. Every time.
Right.
But it's the character, it's the people. It's like, fuck, man. Like, I never knew she would think that way, right? I never knew he would act that way. Why did he do that? He's fucking this relationship up. Why would he do that? And then you have to watch. You have to find out. You have to know. Storytelling revitalizes our excitement for things, especially if you're really deep into that shit. Why you love, like, Game of Thrones. Look at the lore. Look at the people, the world, everything. Star Wars. All these big hits, man. The big hitting names. All they do is just give you more to learn. Which is why I think this movie outshines the first one, because there's so much more that we learned throughout the movie. So it was so fresh constantly. It never got old. It never felt like I wasn't engaged with something new every step of the way. On top of balancing the highs and lows, the perfect peaks and troughs throughout the whole movie. The tension was always perfect. It was just fucking crazy.
Right.
Sorry, short story, side story.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I think that's one thing to think about as to what makes this movie so much better than the first one. Um, because it just hits on those beats a little bit better. But that doesn't make the first one bad. That's why rating systems fucking suck. Because I almost want to say this is double the movie the first one was. But that's not necessarily true, number one. And then number two, the first movie is also on the highest echelon of movies.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, the gap doesn't make sense. Like, this is why rating systems are fucked. Because the gap between Aliens 1 and half of those DC shits is miles. Fucking Grand Canyon sized is some of the gap between that. Then the gap between this movie and Aliens 1 is sizable. So it's like, well, what the fuck? You know what I mean? There's not enough rating, because that would mean to make that more accurate, I'd have to put all the Marvel shits at like a 4 to make that rating, or the DC shits. I'd have to put those ratings so separate, right?
Right.
That would put those at a 4, Aliens 1 at a 7, and this at a 10. But that's not true, because the DC shits, even though they were mediocre, some of them are phenomenal. Looking at you, Wonder Woman. But some of them, you know, were still 6s, 6.5s. So, but the gap between them and Aliens doesn't feel as big as it leaves room on the scale for. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, that doesn't matter. Now we're rambling. Shit. I think we got ratings. We good? We cover everything?
Yeah, we got ratings. We got everything.
Well, shit. You know how it is, fellas. Oh, the annual. The second annual. Fuck, we missed. Scuffed it.
We just pretend like
refilm it.
You
No,
did
just
it.
refilm. We're doing it.
No. We just say this is welcome to the second annual alien shit, and then I'll put it in the front.
We can't lie to our fans. If you guys waited this long, this is it. See, all the people.
By the way, this is the second annual.
Yes. So anybody who waited this long, you deserve it. You get the what's the dopamine? Welcome to the second annual Alien shits. You get it. You get that line. So all the pretenders who come for the line and they leave.
We even did are we live? Oh, we're live. Okay.
Yeah, we did the live. We gotta make sure we do it live every time.
Well, we forgot the second annual.
Right. Fuck, man. So, but you guys got it. If you're still here, you got it though. So we didn't forget it. We just gave it to those what do you call them? The diehard fans who suffered through 2.5 hours of our bullshit. You guys got it. You earned it.
So, now for the ending bits.
Yep. Like and subscribe. Engagement is good.
Downvote and leave an angry comment. Engagement is good.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.